Chapter 528. When Yu Yang woke up and opened his eyes, he realized that he was still immersed in the joy of comprehending the way of the sword. That joy is not a jumping up and down cry of joy. It was also not a roar that was carried away. It was a calm contemplation. It was an internal silence that was as powerful as the eruption of a volcano. It lasted for a long time. Yu Yang felt that his thoughts had entered an ethereal state between reality and fantasy. He knew that he was lying on the bed and that the impatience was sleeping sweetly in his arms. However, his thoughts seemed to have left his body. He was riding on the divine sword, flying up into the sky and roaming in outer space. The shock that the black Guizhong and the pure white Shuanghua gave Yu Yang was no less than when he saw the Prison Emperor Divine Sword. The Prison Emperor Divine Sword was a divine weapon. It had a unique will and power. Guizhong and Shuanghua were the same. The only difference was that the Prison Emperor's divine weapon was a tangible divine weapon. Its existence could be seen by everyone. Furthermore, it had already been fixed. Its will and power were both at a fixed value. Even if it was extremely powerful, it would not be able to surpass itself. Guizhong and Shuanghua were completely different. They were intangible existences. They would only become tangible divine swords when their master needed them. In other words, no matter how powerful the Prison Emperor Divine Sword was, there was a limit. Guizhong and Shuanghua had no limit at all. They could grow infinitely. When Yu Yang was still in the innate realm, the power they could unleash was relatively weaker. When Yu Yang reached the innate elder realm, the power they could unleash would increase greatly. Every time they leveled up, they would be completely different. At the same time, they would not be restricted by their form. If Yu Yang could surpass the innate elder realm and reach a higher realm, they would also grow correspondingly. Grow infinitely. The power of Guizhong and Shuanghua that Yu Yang had comprehended and unleashed was naturally not as powerful as the Prison Emperor Divine Sword. However, in the hands of the Heavenly Sword Goddess, Guizhong and Shuanghua could easily destroy heaven and earth. They were existences that could completely destroy the void. Yu Yang could not imagine that if the Heavenly Sword Goddess used her full strength, who in the world could block it? The Scarlet Emperor, who possessed the divine artifact, Protection Divine Shield? Void and Jiushao, who escaped from the Prison Emperor Divine Palace and returned to the Heaven Realm? No, although these people were much stronger than the current Yu Yang, under the Heavenly Sword Goddesses Guizhong and Shuanghua, they would definitely not be able to withstand a single slash. Yu Yang could totally imagine the final strength of Void and Jiushao. However, he could not imagine where the limits of Guizhong and Shuanghua were. In addition to Guizhong and Shuanghua, there were still 7 more powerful divine swords. Yu Yang could not imagine where the limits of the way of the sword were. He only felt that what the Heavenly Sword Goddess had imparted to him was only the entry level of the way of the sword. For more profound things, he still needed to climb to a higher realm before he could comprehend them. With Yu Yang's current realm, he was like a middle school student. Even after coming into contact with university textbooks, he still couldn't understand them. Of course, compared to Yu Yang, an innate ranker was like a primary school student, and an elder innate ranker was just a high school student, although Yu Yang was still a middle school student. Because of his abnormal comprehension and extraordinary opportunities, he had almost completely understood the knowledge of a high school student. It was just that he had not entered high school yet, and had even started to study the knowledge of a university student. For example, the higher-level innate invisible sword Qi, black Guizhong and white Shuanghua. What is this? Impatience was shocked awake by the sword Qi. She realized that when Yu Yang raised his hand, countless innate Qi flowed into his palm like a tide. A small black sword condensed in Void's hand. At first, it was even smaller than a chopstick. The sword's body was blurry and the runes on it were faintly discernible. However, Impatience was already completely shocked. This was the sword qi that surpassed the ancient and modern times. It was an existence that had completely materialized. From this small sword, impatience felt an unimaginable power. It made even an elder innate rancor like her feel fear from the bottom of her heart. For the first time in her life, the charm demon queen hid behind impatience's back. It was not because she was afraid that Yu Yang would hurt her, but it was an instinctive fear of the godly sword. Yu Yang felt that the energy in his body was almost depleted, but he was still unable to successfully condense the black Guei Tsang. It was already so difficult to condense a Guei Tsang that was only the size of a chopstick. How much innate qi did the heavenly sword goddess need to condense a Guei Tsang that was 2 meters wide and 10 meters long? What level of control did she need? The Southern Demon King, who was awakened by the sword qi, rushed into the room. She ignored the naked Yu Yang who was lying on the bed. She was dumbfounded as she looked at the Guei Tsang that he was struggling to condense. Is this a godly weapon? She was still in disbelief. How was it possible to condense a godly sword with sword qi? Pah! The Southern Demon King couldn't help but exclaim, disturbing Yu Yang who was already at his limit. His mind was slightly shaken and he couldn't control it anymore. The small Guei Tsang disappeared and returned to his body in the form of innate qi. Yu Yang was sweating profusely as he breathed rapidly. He was even more exhausted than when he fought the Scarlet Emperor. Are you all right? The Southern Demon King knew that she had affected him and blamed herself. She quickly went forward to ask Yu Yang, are you all right? I'm fine. Yu Yang breathed heavily. He was almost unable to reply. Why aren't you wearing any clothes? The Southern Demon King finally realized that Yu Yang was naked. Of course, he wasn't the only one. The Impatience and the Charm Demon Queen were also naked. They were originally resting in each other's embrace after the threesome. When Yu Yang woke up, he tried to condense the Guei Tsang, who knew that he would alarm the Southern Demon King and cause her to barge into his room. The person who barged in seemed to be wearing pajamas too. The Impatience wasn't as embarrassed as Yu Yang. Instead, she reminded the Southern Demon King to not barge into other people's rooms while wearing pajamas. Aya! The Southern Demon King looked down. She was wearing the pajamas that she was used to. The silk pajamas that were slightly transparent almost exposed her figure. She was so embarrassed that she couldn't show her face. She ran out of Yu Yang's room. The Impatience giggled. She stretched out her jade-like hands and gave Yu Yang a massage. At the same time, she used body fusion to channel her own energy into him to help him get rid of his fatigue. Yu Yang decided to try again while he still had the enlightenment in his mind. The Guei Tsang sword had already been condensed. It was just a little lacking. With more practice, there shouldn't be a problem. But the Shuanghua sword wasn't there yet. No matter what, he had to complete it. He mustn't miss this rare enlightenment. Without waiting for his breath to calm down, Yu Yang tried to condense the second one. This time, it was completely different from the Guei Tsang sword. It was the white Shuanghua sword. The Guei Tsang sword was huge and dark. It was clumsy and dull. The entire sword emitted an aura that could suppress all living things, making people feel that it was invulnerable. The Shuanghua sword was the opposite. It was gorgeous and dazzling. The body of the sword was clean and clear. Yu Yang felt that it wasn't just a godly weapon to slay demons, it was also a treasure that could expel evil and heal. Different from the destructive Guei Tsang sword, the Shuanghua sword also had a unique ability to expel negative states and a strong healing effect. This was the extension and qualitative change of innate qi. To the enemy, the Shuanghua sword was a godly weapon to slay demons. To Yu Yang himself or his teammates, it was a treasure that could heal and heal. The appearance of this Shuanghua sword not only increased his battle power, it would also be more advantageous to the entire battle. Compared to the black Guei Tsang sword, the Shuanghua sword was harder to condense. It required more innate qi. Yu Yang tried his best to condense a slender Shuanghua sword that was as thick as a rope and 2 meters tall. This was only completed with the help of the body fusion of impatience. When the Shuanghua sword appeared, the whole house became incomparably bright. There was even a faint, wonderful fragrance. Yu Yang's originally exhausted body also quickly recovered. In the end, the Shuanghua sword that had recovered from Yu Yang's weakened state was only the size of a thin thread, but it was still incomparably powerful. Although the Southern Demon King was shy, she escaped from the room. But because of the appearance of the Shuanghua sword, she couldn't help but be curious. She suppressed her embarrassment and hid behind the door to peep at the birth of the Shuanghua sword. Bloody Queen Red, Barbarian Cow Shadow Man, and even the ancient female warriors gathered outside the window. Each of them held their breaths and forgot everything else as they watched the Shuanghua sword in Yu Yang's hand. With the help of the supreme rancor, impatience, Yu Yang finally succeeded in condensing the Shuanghua sword. Although it was very small, Yu Yang could still use his Heaven Eyes divine vision to see the 2 words, Shuanghua, on it. Compared to the Gui Tsang sword that Yu Yang condensed by himself, the second Shuanghua sword was much better. The body of the sword was substantial and the shape of the sword was clearer, but the name Shuanghua was also clearly visible. I did it, I did it! Yu Yang kept the Shuanghua sword back into his body bit by bit. Compared to the Gui Tsang sword that dissipated, Yu Yang was able to use it freely. Although it took a long time and with the help of impatience it was still not easy. Congratulations! With these 2 divine weapons, the Black Hell King's death is near. Impatience hugged Yu Yang passionately and kissed her lover emotionally. Yu Yang was still unable to use the Gui Tsang sword and Shuanghua sword to deal with the Black Hell King. However, the Black Hell King wouldn't be able to jump around for long. As long as Yu Yang continued to improve, he would be able to better control the Gui Tsang Shuanghua sword. Could the Black Hell King still count on the dark sacred armor to defend against Yu Yang's attacks? Nirvana Flame and World Exterminating Wheel were also existences that could kill instantly, but their targets were too obvious. Once they were condensed, the enemy would immediately run away. Gui Tsang sword and Shuanghua sword were different. If Yu Yang could control them to the point where he could condense them with a thought, or condense them earlier and launch a sneak attack, the Black Hell King wouldn't be able to escape unscathed. Against the cunning Black Hell King, Nirvana Flame and World Exterminating Wheel could suppress him, but it would be difficult to kill him instantly. Nirvana Flame and World Exterminating Wheel were more suitable to kill the ancient slaughterers that had low intelligence but strong bodies. Yu Yang had enough time to kill the ancient slaughterers that couldn't fly or teleport. Even if they ran away after seeing the Nirvana Flame, Yu Yang would be able to catch up. But the Black Hell King couldn't. Against him, Yu Yang had to kill him in one strike, so that he wouldn't have a chance to escape. The appearance of the Gui Tsang sword and Shuanghua sword could achieve this effect. The only problem was that Yu Yang had to master the 2 swords as soon as possible, and the faster he could condense them, the better. Under the concealment of the counterfeit, inherent skill and the stealth, Yu Yang decided to find a good opportunity to let the traitor, the Black Hell King, have a taste of being pierced through the heart. This bastard, Southern Demon King, who was peeking through the crack of the door, realized that Yu Yang and Sky Law were hugging and kissing each other, starting their fierce battle again. She stared dumbfoundedly at Impatience using the milk tongue technique on Yu Yang's body. She didn't realize that she was peeking, and was instead surprised by the question, "Is this even possible?" She only reacted when she saw Impatience sitting on Yu Yang's body, using the horse riding technique and galloping passionately. She immediately blushed and ran back to her room, covered herself with the blanket. She couldn't think for a long time as the scene she saw just now kept flashing in her mind. Yu Yang and Impatience were engaged in a fierce battle. Hornless dragon Jiang-ing, who was in a dormant state, suddenly recovered. Little by little, she was released from her muddled state. She didn't know if it was because Yu Yang had condensed the Shuanghua sword to cure her of her bad state, or because Yu Yang and Phoenix Fairy Beauty had made love to each other, inducing her to sense him. No matter what, it was a good thing that she could gradually wake up. Chapter 529. Just as Impatience was exhausted and satisfied, she withdrew from Yu Yang's body, and prepared to let the charm demon queen replace her. Suddenly, there was a flash of light. A silver-colored hornless dragon flew out from the golden grimoire. It flew straight to the top of the sky, then quickly shot back down. It only started to hover when it was 100 meters away, dispelling all the falling force. It transformed into a human form and flew into the house with tears dripping down her face. She then threw herself into Yu Yang's arms and cried loudly like a child who had been away from home for a long time seeing a loved one. Impatience was stunned at first, but when she saw Yu Yang comforting her, she laughed secretly. She grabbed her clothes and left the room with the charm demon queen, temporarily giving Yu Yang and hornless dragon Jiang Ying some space. "Don't cry, Jiang Ying, don't cry." Yu Yang hurriedly comforted her and covered the naked hornless dragon with a blanket. "I was so scared in the dark chaos. I missed you so much, but I couldn't come out. I thought I would be like that forever." Sob, sob. Hornless dragon Jiang Ying sobbed. Her dream came true. With Yu Yang's help, she successfully leveled up to a divine beast. However, while fulfilling her wish, she fell into a state of chaos because she leveled up too quickly. She still had a trace of clarity in her consciousness, but she could not control her body. Her mind was in a state of chaos, and she could not use her consciousness to wake up her sleeping soul. As one of the guardian beasts, she could feel the various dangers that Yu Yang encountered during his battles. She wanted to come out and help Yu Yang, but she was anxious and could not do anything. Although she grew up alone and stubbornly, she had never tried to control herself. Of course, she was afraid of the future. Until just now, when she was confused, the state of chaos disappeared. She could successfully sense Yu Yang's various actions. Her consciousness gradually became clear, and she slowly regained control of her body. After waking up, after regaining her freedom, Jiang Ying immediately came out of the bronze grimoire impatiently. Disregarding the fact that Yu Yang was still having sex with the Impatience, she rushed into his arms and sobbed about the shock and grievances she had suffered. The Southern Demon King did not know Jiang Ying, but when she saw Jiang Ying's hornless dragon true form, she knew that she also belonged to the Eastern Goblin tribe. The Southern Demon King did not have any enmity towards Jiang Ying's appearance. He believed that there was a faint sense of closeness as they were from the same race. She opened the door and saw the naked Impatience walking out of Yu Yang's room with clothes in her hands. She couldn't help but snort. "No need to look, mine is bigger than yours." Impatience proudly walked past the Southern Demon King. Her voluptuous breasts jiggled. Her allure could definitely cause the downfall of a nation. "Damn milk cow!" The Southern Demon King secretly cursed. She knew that she was not small, but she could not be compared to the Impatience. In the room, Jiang Ying finally calmed down after being coaxed by Yu Yang for a long time. When she saw Yu Yang's body that he did not manage to put on in time, she blushed and felt an unbearable shyness in her heart. However, she could not bear to let go of him. She simply buried her head in his arms and let him hug her. She enjoyed the happiness of being pampered by him for a long time. If she was not in a state of chaos and hibernating, she would have done it with him long ago. Jiang Ying's heart was beating fast. She was no stranger to Yu Yang's body. She had seen it the last time when he cultivated body fusion to become a divine beast. If she was not worried that the Impatience who just went out would return, she would have kissed him to relieve the longing in her heart for waiting for her body to wake up. After being comforted, the grievances and fear in hornless dragon Jiang Ying's heart had long been extinguished by the happiness. It was as if she had seen the light of the sun in the darkness and became happy. When she heard the noise outside, she became worried for Yu Yang. She hurriedly got up and put on her clothes. Then, she gestured to Yu Yang to quickly bring her out. Who was that sister just now? She seems to be of innate elder rank? She is Sky Law from the demonic palace. Yu Yang led Jiang Ying out of the door, and found that the giant Loli had also woken up. She was sitting up and staring blankly at the grimoire world. Oh my god, who is this? An ancient titan? The hornless dragon Jiang Ying was shocked by the giant Loli, who was almost 100 meters tall even when she sat up. She's really tall. The Southern Demon King also could not understand how the giant Loli grew. Heaven ranked level 3, this could be the strongest Loli in the world. Impatience felt that heaven ranked level 3 was not the giant Loli's limit. She still had not shown her true strength. Where exactly is this place? Why am I here? The one who was the most confused about the current situation was still the giant Loli. She asked with a thunderous voice. She first suffered an all-out attack from the Black Hell King. Her head was concussed and she lost part of her memories on the spot. Then, she was revived by Yu Yang. After changing into the Titan armor and preparing for battle, she fainted. When she woke up again, she realized that she was no longer in the familiar Crystal Plaza. Instead, she was in a relatively small world. With so many changes, not to mention a giant Loli who lost her memories after a concussion, even a normal person would be confused and disoriented. It's actually like this. Yu Yang explained the sequence of events, hoping that it would be helpful to the giant Loli's memories. The dozen or so ancient female warriors also added on. Among them, a dog clan beauty wagged her tail and cutely affirmed Yu Yang's words. Woof, he's right. You are the Western Heaven Realm's guardian war god. We are all descendants of the Sealed clan. Although we did not participate in the ancient war, we will still work hard for the ancient war. We will not lose the glory of our fathers. You are the descendants of the Sealed clan? What is the Sealed clan? Yu Yang was a little curious. Where did these ancient warriors come from? Woof woof. The dog clan beauty wagged her tail. She was the youngest and cutest among all the ancient warriors. She looked even younger than Yu Yang's sister, Yu Bing. The Sealed clan means that our fathers or ancestors did something wrong and were sealed as punishment. We must help the guardian war god to defeat the enemy and obtain the final victory in order to regain our freedom. Now it seems that there is no hope. The dog tribe beauty hung her head dejectedly as she said this. Her cute ears drooped down as well. Yu Yang hurriedly comforted her with a warm voice. No, although this war will be difficult, the final victory will be ours. You will definitely regain your freedom. Hearing this, the dog clan beauty immediately became happy. She believed Yu Yang without a second thought. Really? That's great. Other than her, the other ancient female warriors were not so optimistic. They did not dare to completely believe in Yu Yang's words. Because of the Black Hell King's betrayal, the situation had become extremely bad. Of course, they did not expose Yu Yang's words of comfort. After all, children still needed to be coaxed. They could not use too much cruel reality to attack their innocent hearts. Am I really the Western Heaven Realm's guardian war god? Another big Loli asked. She stood up from the ground and was more than 200 meters tall. Seeing her caress her head with a puzzled look, everyone sweated profusely. Yu Yang hurriedly bluffed. It doesn't matter if you remember or not. First of all, you can be sure that you are very safe now. We are all your friends. Hearing this, the giant Loli clapped her hands happily. Do I have that many friends? I'm so happy. She danced with joy, causing the entire grimoire world to tremble. It was even scarier than an earthquake. Suddenly, the giant Loli stopped again. She bent down and used her 10-meter-long little finger to lightly poke Yu Yang's body. But I don't know you? Yu Yang was poked by her finger and almost flew 100 meters away. It was even more exaggerated than when he was hit by Shun Tian's 5 transformations fist. He tried his best to hold on. In the end, he could not help but take a few steps back. Of course, he had a bright smile on his face. If you ask me what my name is, then you know me." The giant lowly clapped her hands cutely, creating a gust of wind that almost blew Yu Yang, Jiang Ying and the others away. "That's right, then what's your name?" Yu Yang sweated profusely at the destructive power that the giant lowly had unintentionally caused. After a difficult communication, both parties finally confirmed that they were friends. Although the giant lowly could not remember what her name was, she successfully added Yu Yang as a friend after she hooked him with her tail. As for the Black Hell King who injured her, he was automatically blacklisted. "Brother Yu Yang, you are so small. It would be great if you were also an ancient titan. Then we could defeat that bad guy and those monsters together." The giant lowly could lift Yu Yang with one finger. In fact, Jiang Ying, the Southern Demon King, the Impatiens and even all the ancient female warriors could all sit on it without any problems. It was also very spacious. "I am a human, different from you. For a human to reach my height, I am already considered very tall." Yu Yang was overjoyed. Jiang Ying and the others also secretly laughed. "Is there really no way to become bigger? This looks too strenuous." The giant lowly and Yu Yang were like a human lowly and an ant, such an exaggerated comparison. It is not possible for me to become bigger, I don't have this ability. But, it should be possible for you to become smaller temporarily." Yu Yang remembered that the Qilin girl Bing Yin had a mystical immortal technique that could miniaturize a target. If it was used on the giant lowly, it might be equally effective. Yu Yang estimated that it would be difficult to shrink the giant lowly to the size of a human lowly. However, with the Qilin girl's current strength, it should be possible for her to shrink to a giant of about 10 meters. "Really?" The giant lowly expressed her doubt. "My Titan armor is immune to all mental attacks. Any skill that affects my body is ineffective." "Pretend I didn't say anything." Yu Yang sweated profusely. "Who said you can't shrink? Not to mention the ancient titans, I can even shrink the yellow turban warriors that move mountains." The Qilin girl Bing Yin came out unknowingly and snorted unhappily. She looked down on all the life forms in the Heaven Realm or Tong Tian Tower. The reason was that she felt that she was the highest life form. Other than the Phoenix Sisters, she barely regarded Little One Li as equally outstanding. Others, even if it was the world-exterminating demon wolf Hui Tai Lang or the golden-crowned thorny flower queen who evolved super-fast, they did not care at all. The bloodline of the immortal beast could be said to look down on everything. The Qilin girl Bing Yin stretched out her small hand and countless colorful flowing energy bloomed from her soft jade-like palm. Everyone's eyeballs fell to the ground. Because everyone saw an inconceivable scene, the giant lowly was rapidly shrinking. Chapter 530. Giant lowly shrunk from the height of a skyscraper to the ground. She only stopped when she was about 15 meters tall. "This is impossible." Giant lowly could not believe it herself, let alone the others. Hornless dragon Jiang Ying, Southern Demon King and Impatiens were stunned. Only Yu Yang, Little One Li and Bloody Queen, who had seen the Divine Grimoire's golden barrier, knew how powerful the Qilin girl was. "You did not become weaker after shrinking." Yu Yang was a little regretful. If he could become weaker after shrinking, then it would not matter how many ancient slaughterers there were. He could shrink all of them, rush up and beat them up. As for the Black Hell King who had shrunk to the size of a bean, he could just stomp him to death. There is also a shrinking technique that can make people weaker, but it has to be used with treasures. Qilin girl Bing Yin said proudly, as if she had a more powerful trump card. "Really?" Yu Yang's eyes lit up when he heard this. "I'm so tired, go back to sleep." Qilin girl Bing Yin saw that Yu Yang wanted to use her as a laborer and quickly slipped away. "When can I return to my original form?" Giant lowly asked anxiously, but Qilin girl Bing Yin did not wait for her to speak and had already slipped into the divine grimoire to sleep. Giant lowly looked at her hands, then at the people on the ground. She suddenly became happy. I'm not used to becoming smaller, but it feels good. I'm hungry, what's good to eat? Quickly take it out. Magic crystals? I don't eat magic crystals. I'm not a beast, I'm an ancient titan. I want to eat meat, I want to eat delicious barbecued meat. Barbecued meat? Yu Yang was troubled. With giant Loli's stomach, eating a mammoth would not even be enough to fill her teeth. It was not easy to make her full. Is Ancient Slaughterer okay? Bloody Queen Red warmly welcomed the guests on behalf of her master. Barbarian Cow Shadow Ah Man moved an Ancient Slaughterer''s corpse over. Rumble. She threw it on the ground. Everyone fell to the ground. How could this be eaten? The cute dog Tried Beauty wagged her tail, blinked her big eyes and asked, Big brother Yu Yang, won't eating it cause my intestines to rot? The Bloody Queen answered confidently on behalf of Yu Yang, No, our duo had just eaten one. After she digested it, she was going to eat another one. Although I don't know how it tastes, I'm sure it's edible. Yu Yang almost fell to the ground. The golden crown thorny flower Queen's sea of thorny flowers could even digest steel. There was nothing in this world that it couldn't eat. Using her as an example was not suitable at all. The giant Loli easily believed other people's words. When she heard that it was edible, she immediately poked Yu Yang with her finger, causing him to take a few steps back. He almost lost his balance. Brother Yu Yang, hurry up and roast the meat. I'm hungry. I'm really not good at roasting meat. Yu Yang had heard before that roasting meat was one of the 8 essential skills for male protagonists in Qi Dian novels. A person who transmigrated to a different world could do nothing, but he must be good at roasting meat. When transmigrating to a different world, if the protagonist did not know how to roast meat, it would be as shameful as transmigrating to ancient China and not knowing how to mix gunpowder, publish newspapers, build greenhouses and grow vegetables, or build cement factories and power stations. If he transmigrated to a different world and did not know how to roast meat, it would be a waste of his transmigration quota. He did not even know how to roast meat. How could the giant dragons who wanted to eat roast meat endure this? Normally, as long as the roast meat appeared, the giant dragons would fight to form a contract with the protagonist and recognize him as their master. The reason was that they had never eaten such delicious roast meat before. From then on, for the sake of good food, they would follow the protagonist. Yu Yang began to fantasize. If he roasted meat himself, would it have the same effect? Would this giant Loli become happy after eating the roast meat? For the sake of good food, she would recognize him and become his powerful fighter in the future? There was always a big gap between wishes and reality. The response that Yu Yang received was, This roast meat is too disgusting. The meat is too hard, I can't even bite through it. My teeth are about to fall out. This was the cry of the dog clan's little beauty. I don't think I put any salt in it. The southern demon king gave it a try and also gave a merciless blow. And I'm not familiar with it. The hornless dragon Jiangying also smiled and nodded. Luckily I didn't try it. This was the gloating of the impatiens. The charm demon queen gave Yu Yang some face and reluctantly ate a piece. However, her brows were tightly knitted, probably because she was too embarrassed to criticize him. Hey, this has nothing to do with my roast meat. It's because of that damned ancient slaughterer. Its meat is as hard as steel. It's already good enough that I can cut it and roast it. Who said I didn't put any salt in it? I even added a lot of other ingredients. But do you think that putting some ingredients on steel would make the meat taste better? Yu Yang was going crazy. It was impossible to roast the ancient slaughterer's meat with normal flames. He had to use his Heaven's Fury Fire Lotus. He had to use his Crescent Blade and Hui Jin Magic Blade for a long time before he could cut it into pieces and roast it. If it was someone else, would they want to eat the ancient slaughterer's meat? It was impossible. It's disgusting, but forget it, as long as it can fill my stomach. The giant Loli did not have high requirements for the taste, as long as it could fill my stomach. Forget it for today, what about tomorrow? The Southern Demon King realized that it was not easy to raise the giant lowly. Firstly, she ate a lot. Secondly, she was trapped in the grimoire world and did not know when she would be able to leave. Days passed by. Only 4 ancient slaughterers were killed. The golden-crowned thorny flower queen had eaten one previously and roasted another one now. How many days could the remaining 2 last? Idiot, a drop of God's dew can let her live for a day. Yu Yang has plenty of God's dew, it's not a problem. Impatience did not think that this was a problem. The most difficult thing was how to kill more enemies, because the number of enemies would increase and become stronger. You have God's dew? When the Southern Demon King heard that Yu Yang had God's dew, she immediately passed him a jade bottle happily. I only have a small bottle. That is not mineral water. Furthermore, you are not in a hurry to use it. Yu Yang rejected her. If he gave her such a big jade bottle, Yu Yang's heart would ache to death. The Southern Demon King scolded Yu Yang secretly for being a stingy person while pestering him. She had always dreamed of getting God's due. She would never think it was too little, and she would never think it was too much. Unfortunately, Yu Yang also thought the same way. Yu Yang would definitely not give it to her if she directly asked for it. If someone was in urgent need of God's due to save their life or recover their strength, that would be fine. He used the excuse of going back to train and ran away. The Southern Demon King wanted to follow but was stopped by impatience. Let's introduce ourselves. I am Skylaw, Yu Yang's fiancé. What about you guys? With this, she completely gained the upper hand. The Southern Demon King opened her jade lips but found that her throat was blocked and she could not speak. On the other hand, Jiang Ying, the hornless dragon, lowered her head shyly. She twisted her fingers and said shyly, I am Jiang Ying. I have only known him for a short time. I wanted him to help me level up to a divine beast, but we made a contract and I have been with him ever since. With regards to this hornless dragon Jiang Ying, Impatience did not have any objections. Jiang Ying was Yu Yang's guardian beast. She was destined to never betray him, so Impatience was very assured. On the other hand, the Southern Demon King was an outstanding beauty with a mysterious background. She had a noble temperament and was very opinionated. In addition, she was used to having a superior attitude. She was definitely not a girl from an ordinary family. Impatience felt that this Southern Demon King was her love rival. What was a love rival? This was a love rival. Jiang Ying, you are also from the Eastern Goblin tribe, right? Why did you make a contract with Yu Yang? The Southern Demon King still did not understand and was a little envious. I am different from normal Eastern Goblin tribe members. Although my grandfather is a hornless dragon of the Eastern Goblin tribe, my grandmother is the Golden Dragon Queen, my grandfather is the Silver Dragon Lord, and my grandmother is the Spider Queen. Part of my bloodline belongs to beasts, so I can also make a contract. The hornless dragon Jiang Ying was a little ashamed about her bloodline. It was because of her mixed blood that she had no choice but to level up to a divine beast to make a contract with a grimoire. Mixed blood brought great power, but it also brought the problem of not being able to make a contract with a grimoire. Fortunately, Yu Yang appeared and with his help, she was able to make a contract with a grimoire. Otherwise, summoning a grimoire would be a lifelong regret. The Eastern Goblin tribe also cannot easily make a contract with a grimoire. Only the royal family is slightly better. It is impossible to make a contract with normal grimoires. The Southern Demon King revealed a small secret. What should we do next? Jiang Ying had just woken up. Although she wanted to help Yu Yang, she did not know the exact situation. If you are willing to cooperate, I have an idea. Impatience worked hard to take control of the family. If Princess Sisai and Shui Wuxiao were here, she would definitely not fight for power. However, in front of the Southern Demon King, she could not let the other party suppress her. Say it. The Southern Demon King was very unwilling, but due to her status and power, she had no choice but to listen to the other party. A day later, The Black Hell King, who was using his dark domain to absorb the energy of the foreign innates, felt that something was wrong. His intuition told him that something was wrong. There was no battle for the entire day. Huang Quan and Yu Yang were also on the east and west sides of the Black Hell King. What exactly was wrong? Based on a warrior's intuition, the Black Hell King felt that something was wrong, but he could not figure out what was wrong. After 2 hours of observation and thinking, the Black Hell King counted the number of ancient slaughterers. He was shocked to find that there were not a single ancient slaughterer patrolling towards Huang Quan, but there were 6 less ancient slaughterers patrolling towards Yu Yang. Furthermore, there was 1 less ancient slaughterer captain. This meant that Yu Yang had silently killed 6 ancient slaughterers and an ancient slaughterer captain, without him knowing. How did he do it? There was no way he could kill as many as 7 ancient slaughterers without making a sound. Moreover, there were more than 10 ancient slaughterers patrolling every time. There was no reason for them to not attack when they saw their companions being killed. Even if they did not attack, there should be a commotion and a loud roar. No matter how powerful Sky Law Thunder, World Exterminating Wheel and Nirvana Flame were, they could not kill 7 ancient slaughterers in a second. The Black Hell King rushed to the Crystal Plaza and found no clues. It was as if the 7 ancient slaughterers had disappeared like smoke. The Black Hell King thought for a long time before he suddenly understood. He was so angry that his chest almost exploded, but he could not do anything. He knew what was going on. It was Sky Law. That charm demon queen of Sky Law was an expert in bewitching. She hypnotized the ancient slaughterers into Sky Law's grimoire world, and let Yu Yang kill them. This method was difficult to achieve for intelligent creatures, but it was a great idea for the almost mindless ancient slaughterers. All right, let's see who has the last laugh. The Black Hell King threw down this sentence, and returned to the central plaza. After he returned, no one knew what method the Black Hell King used, but not a single ancient slaughterer came to Yu Yang's Crystal Plaza to search. Instead, they all stayed in the central plaza, quietly waiting for the time limit of the death arena to come. The Black Hell King wanted to compete with Yu Yang in endurance. The longer it took, the more advantageous it would be for him. In the grimoire world, Impatience sighed. The Black Hell King is indeed not simple. I thought he would only realize something was wrong after 2 days. Yu Yang comforted her. Although hypnotizing the ancient slaughterers into the grimoire world to kill them is a good idea, it definitely cannot be used for long. Don't worry, I can still think of another way. With 10 ancient slaughterers, dark gold magic crystals, I might be able to think of a better idea. He said it so mysteriously that Impatience and the others did not understand. Only Little Wenli knew that Yu Yang was preparing to enter the black hole space to visit his mother. Her Majesty Queen Vivian Li was a supreme ranker from 10,000 years ago. Her power was unfathomable. She would definitely know the secret of the death arena. She might have even participated in this kind of death arena before. Chapter 531. Black Hole Sealed Space. Death Arena? Queen Vivian Li smiled sweetly after hearing Yu Yang's narration. There's no need to guess, someone must be behind this. Someone took your blood and started the ancient war, making you the leader of the death arena, forcing you to participate in this war. Actually, strictly speaking, this is not only a cruel competition, it is also a tragic war. In ancient times, the Heaven Realm was connected to the lower realm, and the strong warriors of the Heaven Realm would often participate in the death arena battles. To a super strong warrior, obtaining 100 points is not a difficult thing. The difficult part is how to kill the enemy, or how to escape from the hands of a strong enemy. Someone took my blood to start the ancient war? Yu Yang frowned when he heard this. If no one from Tong Tian Tower has come to Heaven Realm, then the person who started the ancient war must be your enemy. For example, those who escaped from the prison Emperor Divine Palace. Queen Vivian Li's words were the same as what Yu Yang had guessed. Yu Yang guessed that it was either Void with the divine trident or the mysterious Jiu Shao. During the battle in the prison Emperor Divine Palace, they must have collected his blood. Then, they used his blood to start the ancient war. This also explained why he was the leader and the stronger Black Hell King wasn't. Also, he, who had never been to Heaven Realm, actually started the ancient war. If it wasn't for Void or Jiu Shao, it would be impossible. The problem was, if it was really them, then things would not be so simple. Would the enemy only set one trap? It was obvious that Void and Jiu Shao were not the kind of people who would easily let go of a strong enemy like Yu Yang. Their schemes would definitely come wave after wave. Black Hell King, he betrayed us and made the situation very bad. I want to understand the weakness of the ancient slaughterers, or the rules of the ancient arena. At the juncture of life and death, Yu Yang did not bother to be courteous with Queen Vivian Li and asked directly. The ancient slaughterer is easy to kill. It's a weak creature and there's nothing to fear. Even the ancient slaughterer commander and the Beast King are not much of a threat to you. But you have to be careful of the traitor, Black Hell King. I feel that he would not betray you easily if he did not have the confidence. He definitely has a backup plan. Queen Vivian Li muttered to herself and said to Yu Yang, "Actually, what we really need to worry about is not the ancient slaughterer Beast King or the Black Hell King, but the Heaven Realm rankers that descended from the Heaven Realm." What? Yu Yang was shocked. The Heaven Realm still had Heaven Realm experts? Heaven Realm rankers can appear as the sixth party. They are neither allies of the four sides, nor are they pursuers, but they can participate when the situation is out of balance. They are the interveners. Queen Vivian Li nodded. Meow meow, we can't beat them in the first place, yet they still came to participate. How are we supposed to live? Yu Yang was sweating profusely. Humans were very strong in the past. Under Tong Tian Tower, the humans of the Soaring Dragon Continent, the demon tribe of the Demon Abyss and the mountain swamp fairies of the Heaven Stairway were known as the three strongest clans. Any warrior sent by one of the clans could break the balance and massacre the ancient slaughterers and the warriors from the east, south and north. Because of this, the Heaven Realm sent Heaven Realm rankers to interfere in the war, to preserve the strength of the north, south and east, so that they won't be heavily injured. Empress Fei Wenli's words made Yu Yang feel ashamed. Currently, the Soaring Dragon Continent had completely declined. If it wasn't for the Night Empress and Ji Zun, the humans wouldn't even be able to compare to the north, south and east. Are there other three Tong Tian towers in the north, south and east? Yu Yang asked. No. Queen Vivian Li waved her hand and denied. There is only one Tong Tian tower. It is a special bridge that connects the Soaring Dragon Continent to the Heaven Realm. There is no such Tong Tian tower in other places. The east, south and north are the lower levels of the Heaven Realm. Then what about the Heaven Stairway? Yu Yang asked again. The Heaven Stairway was originally the world where the mountain swamp fairies lived. From the first floor to the 10th floor of Tong Tian Tower, there was a corresponding world. They had a certain connection with Tong Tian Tower, just like the relationship between the Soaring Dragon Continent, Demon Abyss and Tong Tian Tower. They formed a stable triangular world, with the gods' ruins in the middle. After that, the stairway to heaven was greatly damaged after the battle between the ancient masters. The Mountain Lake Fairy clan was almost wiped out, so they cut off the connection with the Tower of Babel. I don't know what the situation is like now, but 10,000 years ago, the Mountain Lake Fairy clan was already in a state of extinction. There are only a few of them left. When Queen Vivian Li spoke of the past, she could not help but sigh. Your Majesty, what realm has your strength reached? Yu Yang was very curious. Just how strong was Queen Vivian Li? With his heaven eyes' divine vision, even if Queen Vivian Li was in a weakened state, he would still be able to see through it. He still couldn't tell. From this, it could be seen that Queen Vivian Li's strength had reached a level that Yu Yang could not imagine. Queen Vivian Li smiled at Yu Yang's question and answered tactfully, "Back then, strictly speaking, I was the rebel queen who led the rebel army against the human warriors. In the heaven realm, there seems to be a 500 billion bounty for me." 500 billion. And it was a bounty from the heaven realm? When Yu Yang heard this, he almost fainted. The highest bounty in the Tower of Tong Tian was set by Yu Yang, 10 million. This 10 million bounty was set by Yu Yang after he killed the Ocean Emperor Guan Lan, dozens of Sea Clan innates, Sea Dragon Crown Prince, Sea Anemone Princess and other royal relatives. This caused the entire Sea Clan to collapse. Only then did the Sea Clan's Empress Jellyfish announce a bounty of 10 million. An old man and she, who also killed the Ocean Emperor Guan Lan and more than 1 million warriors, only had a bounty of 5 million. Bounty was different from doing business. It might not be difficult to earn 5 million or 10 million from doing business, but the bounty had to be approved by the elders of the Tong Tian Tower Warrior Guild and the Innate Alliance. The bounty was determined according to the target's strength. It was definitely not a matter of how high the bounty was. It had an extremely strict standard. Not to mention 1 million, it was already very impressive to be able to obtain a bounty of 10,000 gold. If the target was not an innate, he would be an evil lesser innate on the bloody rankings. For example, Fatty Hai, Yi Kong and the others were still a distance away from being able to obtain a bounty of 10,000 gold. They had to prove that they were stronger to be able to obtain a bounty of 10,000 gold. Zijin Kingdom and Black Hell Army had the highest bounty for them. Xue Tanlang had the highest bounty of 9,500 gold. Prince of Tianluo, Fatty Hai and Yi Kong had a bounty of 8,000. Feng Qisha, Yen Pejun and the others, who were far behind, only had a bounty of less than 3,000 in Tong Tian Tower, because the bounty was usually replaced by treasures, or treasures and gold coins were distributed at the same time. The bounty of gold coins would definitely not be very high. But no matter what, to be able to obtain a bounty of 1 million gold coins would definitely be able to reach the level of supreme innates like the great emperor of Ziwei Shun Tian, the Black Prince and the 1,000 Goblins sect leader. If the bounty was 3 million, then it could be for Sky Emperor, Emperor of the Underworld, Ocean Emperor, and she and other peak innate level 10 rankers. If the bounty was 5 million, then it would be for the stronger Dragon Emperor. If the bounty was 10 million, needless to say, it would definitely be for the Black Hell King. Only the Black Hell King, the 5,000-year-old traitor, and Yu Yang, the future prison emperor. Only these two people were worth 10 million. Based on this, Queen Vivian Li, who had a bounty of 500 billion in the heaven realm. Her strength? Let's not talk about whether anyone would dare to accept this kind of bounty mission. Just this bounty alone was enough to scare people out of their wit. It was enough to make people tremble. I have killed quite a lot of people, so this bounty is slightly on the high side. In fact, I think 300 billion is more reasonable. Queen Vivian Li secretly laughed. It would have been better if she didn't say it, but once she said it, Yu Yang sweated profusely. Wasn't 300 billion money? Moreover, 300 billion was definitely not just a monetary bounty, but also a bounty of treasures. It was impossible to calculate how much all of them were worth. Alright, then how much bounty is the person who sealed you in this black hole space worth? Yu Yang probed. I estimate it to be at least 900 billion. When Queen Vivian Li said this, Yu Yang really fainted. This kind of monster, is he really human? Yu Yang couldn't imagine how a human from the soaring dragon continent could cultivate to such a terrifying realm. Compared to him, he was really far from it. How old are you? Compared to you, your growth is actually unprecedentedly fast. If I were to give you a real evaluation, your combat power would be at least 100 million. You obviously have the power that you can't use, so I estimate it to be more than 1 billion. In other words, you can only use 10% of your true power. As for your future potential, I estimate it to be more than 1 trillion. You are definitely stronger than the super ranker who sealed me. Let's not talk about this anymore, continue training. You are just a small sapling now. Although you have a bit of a tall and straight posture, it is still too early for you to become a real towering tree. Queen Vivian Li lightly caressed Yu Yang's face and smiled. Looking at you, even I am envious. Don't be envious of me. I am currently having a headache even against the Black Hell King and the Heaven Realm rankers who might descend. Yu Yang felt very ashamed. He knew that he couldn't use 100% of his combat power. Once he entered berserk mode, his strength would immediately increase by 10 times. Even Void, Jiu Shao and the Scarlet Emperor could fight against him when they were in berserk mode. Why couldn't he use his full strength when he was awake? Yu Yang couldn't understand. Maybe it was because he didn't understand himself well enough. Yu Yang didn't have the time to stop and study slowly. He just wanted to continuously explore his potential and quickly obtain more things. When his potential reached a certain level, he would then slowly calm down and digest it. Moreover, this kind of digestion wasn't something that could be done immediately. It required continuous comprehension during the process of training. According to what you said, the Heaven Realm rankers might not descend. Even if they did, their strongest strength would not exceed Heaven-ranked level 3. This is because their strength would not exceed their pursuers unless they wanted to kill you on purpose. Otherwise, the strongest Heaven Realm ranker sent by the Heaven Realm rankers would be Heaven-ranked level 3. If you see a Heaven-ranked level 4, 5 or even stronger Heaven Realm ranker coming down, immediately retreat. With your current strength, if no strong reinforcements come to help, the chances of you winning are very small. Moreover, they are definitely here to kill you. Queen Vivian Li reminded Yu Yang to be careful of the enemy. No matter what, he must not be tricked. Got it. Yu Yang only had one question left in his mind. That was Ji Zun and Night Empress. How strong were they? If they were very strong, then he could choose to go berserk under the charm of the impatience and kill the Black Hell King. Otherwise, he would think of ways to accumulate points. He would first retreat safely, then slowly settle the score in the future. Ji Zun was probably coming soon. What realm was she in? Was she innate elder level 2? Level 3? Or level 4? Chapter 532. Queen Vivian Li was sealed in the black hole space. Yu Yang could not think of a good way to bring her out at the moment. However, she had been asleep for 10,000 years. She did not care about a short while. After leaving the black hole space, Yu Yang returned to the grimoire world. Although Impatience, Jiang Ying and the others were curious about Yu Yang's actions, they pretended not to know since Yu Yang did not say anything and did not ask. Yu Yang, who had obtained all kinds of information about the death arena, did not wait any longer. He chose to take the initiative to attack and harass the ancient slaughterers in the central plaza. With his strength, it was impossible for him to kill the ancient slaughterers in front of the Black Hell King and the Beast King. However, because of his harassment, the ancient slaughterers hated Yu Yang to the core. Once he appeared, they would roar crazily and almost go crazy. If not for the Beast King, they would have chased after Yu Yang with all their might. What is this brat doing? The Black Hell King knew that there must be a reason why Yu Yang would do this. It was definitely not because he had nothing better to do. The Black Hell King could not guess Yu Yang's intentions. Towards Yu Yang's harassment, the Black Hell King could not do anything. He was even unwilling to take the initiative to stop Yu Yang. This was because he was worried that Yu Yang was tricking him. His real goal was to lure him to death. Hence, no matter what, he was not willing to put himself in danger. An hour passed. Although the damage caused by Yu Yang's attacks was very light, the ancient slaughterers became extremely agitated and lost control of their emotions under the constant harassment. Lacking intelligence, they did not know that this was a ploy. They hated this human who fought and ran away the moment he appeared. Whenever he appeared, their eyes would spit fire. In reality, Yu Yang's harassment tactics were unparalleled. The Nirvana fire arrows that he condensed from Nirvana flame could easily injure an ancient slaughterer. However, he never fought a decisive battle. This was a serious provocation to the ancient slaughterer''s dignity. Under such harassment, even the Beast King could not hold back. The ancient slaughterers that could not fly could only chase after Yu Yang in vain. Sometimes, Yu Yang would boldly fly in their group and cleverly go around their huge bodies, causing them to lose control and crash into each other. This further enraged the ancient slaughterers. The Black Hell King finally understood. It turned out that Yu Yang wanted the ancient slaughterers to go berserk, to make them lose their rationality and attack each other. He wanted to make use of each other's strength to reduce the number of ancient slaughterers. Moreover, the Black Hell King suspected that while Yu Yang was weakening the ancient slaughterer's power, he was also looking for an opportunity to assassinate him. So what if he discovered Yu Yang's scheme? With regards to Yu Yang, the Black Hell King couldn't think of a good way to deal with him. This harassment tactic was too shameless. The Black Hell King could chase after him, but the problem was that there was still Sky Law hiding in the dark, waiting for the Black Hell King to fall into the trap. Good idea. Huang Quan and the others saw the success of Yu Yang's harassment. They were enlightened and praised him profusely. They also took the initiative to cooperate. After injuring a few ancient slaughterers, Huang Quan and the others became more proactive. They covered each other and took turns to harass the group of ancient slaughterers. This made the ancient slaughterers furious. Their eyes were bloodshot and they attacked any enemy that appeared in front of them. They chased after them relentlessly and none of them were willing to stay quietly in the central square anymore. The Black Hell King knew that things were bad. However, the only thing he could do was to follow Yu Yang secretly and try his best to prevent him from luring the ancient slaughterers into the grimoire world. Other than Yu Yang, the Black Hell King believed that no one else could use this method to kill the ancient slaughterers. The current Yu Yang was more dangerous than Huang Quan and the others. The Black Hell King would rather ignore Huang Quan and the rest and follow closely behind Yu Yang. He did not dare to relax even for a single step. As long as there was a chance, this brat would cause trouble and turn the situation around. How could the Black Hell King dare to be careless? Unknowingly, another day passed. At the end of the third day, another 10 ancient slaughterers descended from the sky. Yu Yang and the others who had been harassing them for 3 days only managed to find an opportunity to kill the ancient slaughterer that chased them the furthest. In terms of strategy, Yu Yang had achieved great success. However, in terms of efficiency, he was still lacking. Killing 1 to 10, the Black Hell King felt that he would have the last laugh. We must kill the Black Hell King. With him around, the ancient slaughterer Beast King will always calm down. As long as the Beast King is awake, the ancient slaughterers will still listen to it. Third young master's strategy is good. However, we cannot wait any longer. We must do something as soon as possible. Does anyone have any good ideas? As long as the Black Hell King is dead, I believe that the battle will be much smoother. Fentian and the others found Yu Yang and gathered together to discuss. He felt that the best way was to kill the Black Hell King. As long as the Black Hell King was dead, then the harassment tactic of causing the enemies to be disheartened and kill each other could be realized. It's difficult. Metal Man Yun Xing was concise as usual. He hit the nail on the head and pointed out that this idea was not reliable. Third young master, please tell us. Huang Quan knew that Yu Yang must have some kind of idea to do this. It was impossible for him to speak without thinking. The ancient slaughterers are not too scary. The Black Hell King is also alright. If we gather together, he can only hide in the dark. The only thing I am worried about is the interferers sent by the Heaven Realm. I think they are all around Heaven ranked level 3. Yu Yang deliberately revealed this secret. Interferers. Huang Quan and the rest's reaction made Yu Yang realize a problem. Huang Quan and the rest did not know that there were interferers in the Heaven Realm. I heard that it's like this. Yu Yang's slightly modified Empress Fei Wenli's words, describing the Heaven Realm interferer as an incomparably evil villain. Since everyone didn't know, Yu Yang would definitely try his best to bluff them. Huang Quan and the rest were shocked when they heard this. Due to the pressure from the Heaven Realm interferers, Huang Quan and the rest were afraid. They attacked the Black Hell King with all their might, intending to kill him before the interferers arrived. At the very least, they had to cooperate with Yu Yang to kill a few more ancient slaughterers. Otherwise, when the Heaven Realm interferers arrive, everyone would definitely die. Huang Quan and the rest did not hold back and attacked with all their might. The Black Hell King could not handle them alone. He temporarily hid beside the ancient slaughterer Beast King. After Yu Yang and Huang Quan tried to kill him many times, the Black Hell King returned to his grimoire world in fear of his own life. He did not fight with Huang Quan and Yu Yang at all. Taking the chance when he left the central plaza and returned to the grimoire world, Phoenix Fairy Beauty and Charm Demon Empress immediately came out and led the 20 crazed ancient slaughterers into her grimoire world. Impatience had already moved all the valuable things into Yu Yang's grimoire world. Even if the ancient slaughterers destroyed them crazily, she did not feel any heartache. Damn it! The Black Hell King realized that a third of the ancient slaughterers were gone after he left for 10 minutes. You're the one who should die. Huang Quan did not hold back and attacked the Black Hell King with the power of an innate level 3. The 4 ancient slaughterer great commanders that became the Black Hell King's bodyguards were led away by the 3-eyed Tiger Man. Huang Quan, Fun Tian, Yun Xing and Yu Yang worked together to besiege the Black Hell King. They tried to defeat the Black Hell King before the ancient slaughterer Beast King returned. Roar, roar, roar! The ancient slaughterer Beast King was also lured away by impatience. Charm Demon Queen continued to lure the enemies away and successfully lured them into her master's grimoire world. The Black Hell King was anxious, but he did not dare to fight them. Compared to the ancient slaughterers, his own life was more important. Moreover, the Black Hell King was confident that even if all the ancient slaughterers were killed, there were still 4 heaven-ranked level 3 ancient slaughterer commanders and 1 heaven-ranked level 5 ancient slaughterer Beast King. No matter how powerful Yu Yang's world-exterminating wheel and Nirvana flame were, it would be impossible to kill the Beast King, because the difference in power between the two was too great. You have all helped the Yu clan's 3rd young master. He has killed so many ancient slaughterers, he definitely has enough points. But what about you? Congratulations, you have become the stepping stones for the 3rd young master to obtain the divine equipment. The Black Hell King did not forget to sow discord before returning to the grimoire world. You have a big mouth. Yu Yang rewarded the Black Hell King with a whip of agony, but the 6,000-year traitor who had the dark sacred armor was not injured at all. 3rd young master, what do we do now? 3-eyed Tiger Man and the rest realized that the ancient slaughterer Beast King seemed to have sensed danger. When the Charm Demon Queen used her bewitching skill to lure the ancient slaughterer into the grimoire world, it let out a loud roar and summoned back the 4 commanders and 6 team leaders who were unable to be lured. They banded together and did not give Yu Yang and the others any chance. As long as Yu Yang flew a little closer, they would take turns to spit out long flames or dodge at the same time. They would split up the moment they came into contact with each other and regroup the moment they came into contact with each other. As long as they were united, Yu Yang and Huang Quan would not be able to kill them. In addition, the Black Hell King would occasionally poke his head out to observe. The exhausted Huang Quan suggested that they return to the grimoire world to rest and fight again tomorrow. Just when everyone thought that their plan was successful and the situation was slowly turning around, another 5 rays of light shone down from the sky. The pillar of light in the middle was as exaggerated as the ancient slaughterer Beast King's descent. It might even be even more exaggerated. Waves of golden light lit up the entire central plaza, as if everything was covered in a layer of golden light. The one who descended in the middle was wearing a luxurious purple cloak and did not reveal his face, but his faintly discernible strength still shocked everyone. Another heaven-ranked level 5 existence. Moreover, this person was not as stupid as the ancient slaughterer beast king. This person was definitely an intelligent being. Only an intelligent being would use a sentence to dispel the worries of both sides. Don't worry, everyone, I will not interfere with your battle. I am only here to be an arbitrator to make the competition more fair. Huang Quan and the others listened. They were overjoyed. Luckily, these people from Heaven Realm were not enemies, but arbitrators. They did not dare to believe that the person who descended was an arbitrator, but before the situation worsened, they would rather believe that the person who descended from Heaven Realm was an arbitrator. Yu Yang immediately kept Impatience and Charm Demon Queen into his grimoire world, not wasting even a second. Queen Vivian Li's words rang in his ears. If you see any heaven-ranked level 4, 5 or even stronger Heaven Realm rankers descending, retreat immediately. With your current strength, without strong reinforcements, the possibility of you winning is very small. Moreover, they are definitely here to kill you. The Heaven Realm's heaven interveners had already arrived, and they were definitely here for him. Luckily, he had persuaded Huang Quan and the others to lure more than 30 ancient slaughterers into Impatience's grimoire world. Even if he killed all the ancient slaughterers, he could still escape the danger of being erased by the ancient code. The Heaven Realm's interveners had arrived. The situation was even more serious. Why hadn't Night Empress and Ji Zun arrived yet? Just as Yu Yang was preparing to return to the grimoire world and never come out again, a mysterious thought spread in his mind. New team member has joined. Yu Yang was overjoyed. An indescribable feeling emerged from the bottom of his heart. Night Empress and Ji Zun, they did not ignore his request for help. They had finally arrived. Chapter 533. Although Huang Quan and the rest did not receive any news that new teammates had joined Yu Yang's side, they could sense that reinforcements had arrived from the soaring dragon continent. In comparison, Huang Quan and the rest seemed to be isolated and helpless. After losing their teammates, the east, south and north sides did not have any more members to replace them. It was not that the three sides did not have any experts, it was just that the super experts of the three sides were not willing to participate in the ancient war in the death arena. After all, the rules here were too cruel. The reason why Huang Quan and the rest participated was mainly because they desired to obtain the divine equipment to increase their abilities. If they were to say that with their abilities, were they the strongest experts representing the north, south and south sides? Definitely not. I will give you 10 minutes. Call all your teammates over. What we wish to see is a truly fair competition. We do not wish to see too many outstanding juniors die in pointless fights. The purpose of building this ancient arena is not to kill the warriors of the lower levels of the four realms, but to produce more elites through competition. You have all misunderstood the death arena. It is not like this at all. You are all the most outstanding existences. I hope that you will be able to improve through competition and not fight wrongly. The mysterious man in the purple gold cloak spoke with a compassionate tone. He raised his hand and calmed the restless ancient slaughterer captain, commander and even beast king. A soft radiance was emitted from his hand, like a moonlit night's dream. It made the extremely violent ancient slaughterers sit down quietly, as obedient as little pugs. After the mysterious man showed this move, Huang Quan and the rest were convinced. They had to be convinced. The ancient slaughterer beast king was also a heaven-ranked level 5. It could completely ignore all attacks previously. However, the person who came just raised his hand and calmed it down. And it did not resist at all. What did this mean? If this mysterious man in a purple gold cloak were to attack everyone, no one, including the strongest Huang Quan, would be able to withstand a single blow from him. Around the mysterious man, there was a heaven-ranked level 3 powerhouse standing in each direction. On the east side there was an angel with 12 wings on his back. He was not as tall as the ancient war god, only about 3 meters tall. He held a golden holy sword in his hand and looked holy and majestic. On the west side, there was a general covered in silver armor. He was slightly taller than a human, and his appearance was similar to a human. He had the aura of a war god that led thousands of troops and swept across the world. On the south side, there was a tall and sturdy tiger man with a bare upper body. He was 5 meters tall and his muscles were bulging. There were very unique battle patterns on his body. On the north side, there was a lich that shone with a dark light. He held a white bone staff in his hand, and his blood-red eye sockets shone with a dazzling red light. Just the strength of these 4 interferers was enough to sweep through the entire death arena. Forgive Huang Quan for being presumptuous, but may I ask, are you Master Shi Feng of the Central Palace? Huang Quan suddenly bowed to the mysterious man in the purple-gold cloak. Could it be that the Central Palace Hall is only famous in the Heaven Realm? The mysterious man denied his identity. Then you must be Sir Tsongyen, Fun Tian excitedly bowed. Northern Heaven Realm's Fire Clan, Ardent Sun City Master's 3rd disciple Fun Tian pays his respects to Senior. The mysterious man nodded slightly as a response. Other than Yu Yang and the Black Hell King, the others like Huang Quan and Yun Xing were shocked by his affirmation. They, who had trained in the Heaven Realm, knew what the Central Palace Hall meant to the Heaven Realm. The Central Palace Hall did not belong to any sect, but all its members were chosen from the most elite warriors of the various sects in the Heaven Realm. Any warrior who had information on them to enter the Central Palace Hall was a great honor. The Central Palace Hall was also the only special organization that allowed the disciples of the various sects to enter without leaving the sect. Experts were as common as clouds, mysterious and unpredictable. This was a more accurate evaluation of the Central Palace Hall. Not to mention outsiders, even the members of the Central Palace Hall did not know the limits of the Central Palace Hall's martial arts. When Huang Quan and the others heard Song Yan's name, they were shocked. On the other hand, Wang Jin and the Golden Zombie Emperor, who were also in the Northern Heaven Realm, were exceptionally excited. The reason was because of this mysterious man, Song Yan. Although he was a ranker of the Central Palace Hall, he was previously from the Northern Heaven Realm and could be said to be the pride of the Northern Heaven Realm. Strictly speaking, Song Yan was considered a senior to Fun Tian, Wang Jin and the others. Huang Quan and Yun Xing secretly looked at each other. Now that the Northern Heaven Realm that Fun Tian belonged to had a senior as a judge, it was not a good thing for them. Now they no longer hoped to get the divine equipment. They only hoped that they could leave safely. Yu Yang was completely indifferent to everything that was happening in front of him. He was only concerned about his new teammates. Once the new teammates entered the Crystal Plaza, they immediately returned to the Grimoire world according to the promise that Yu Yang had sent to Hai Yingwu, and quietly waited for Yu Yang to meet up with them. This time Yu Yang understood. The people who came were all his own people, not the reinforcements of the Black Hell King or the Sky Emperor. As for whether the people who came were Night Empress, Ji Zun and the others, Yu Yang was not 100% sure. Because of the influence of the Heaven Realm Interferer's aura, and the fact that the people who came quickly returned to the Grimoire world, Yu Yang almost could not sense the aura of his new teammate. However, there was one thing that Yu Yang could be sure of. Princess Sisai had come, because Yu Yang had a strong telepathic connection with the Prison Emperor Excalibur that she was carrying. Although the Prison Emperor Excalibur was being used by Princess Sisai, in reality, this Excalibur had originally recognized Yu Yang as its master. It was only because of the last wish of the Prison Emperor's remnant soul that it was mistakenly passed to Princess Sisai. No matter where the arbiters come from, they will carry out fair competition arbitration. Bring all of your teammates here. Those who do not have enough strength to participate in the competition can temporarily rely on the guardian arbiters. This way, they can avoid being eliminated due to insufficient points. After the divine equipment has chosen its master, the guardian arbiters will bring them out of the death arena. As for those who have enough strength to participate in the competition, no matter which side they belong to, the arbiters will supervise them fairly. There will not be any bias. The mysterious man, Song Yen, showed a businesslike attitude, and even generously guaranteed that he could help everyone avoid the problem of being eliminated due to insufficient points. Huang Quan and Yun Xing were doubtful. They felt that the situation had turned for the better too quickly and too smoothly. Furthermore, it was different from the interferer that Yu Yang mentioned previously. Who should they believe? They really did not have the confidence. Thank you, Lord Song Yen. Fun Tian, Wang Jin and the Golden Zombie Emperor were 100% confident, and bowed respectfully. They were full of confidence now. Although it was a fair competition, the arbiters who came from their own hometown were better than those from other places. At least the Northern Heaven Realm did not have to worry about being treated unfairly. Huang Quan wanted to say something to Yu Yang, but Yu Yang pretended not to see it. Teleport silently. Leave. Of course, Yu Yang knew that the arbiters and fair supervision were all bullsh*t. Regardless of whether the mysterious man was Central Palace's Song Yen, even if he was here to kill, not to save. Were they really that great? Coming from the Heaven Realm to the Death Arena to save people? That was impossible. Even if he did not enter the black hole and ask Her Majesty Queen Vivian Li, Yu Yang would not believe that Song Yen and the others were arbiters. Furthermore, Yu Yang already knew the true identity of these arbiters. As for Huang Quan and the others, Yu Yang could open his mouth to warn them. However, the warning might not be useful. Huang Quan and the others might not believe it. If Yu Yang did this, it was very likely that he would be inviting trouble to himself. He would become the target of everyone. As the saying goes, it's better for you to die than for me. Before Yu Yang could ensure his safety, he would not expose Song Yan's trickery. Song Yan must have come with evil intentions. Before they could communicate with the traitor Black Hell King and lock onto him, Yu Yang had to sneak back safely and meet up with the Night Empress and the others. Yu Yang needed to rearrange his plans for the future battles, because the Heaven Realm interferers had arrived much earlier than expected. Seeing Yu Yang teleport away immediately, Black Hell King's eyes flickered. He seemed to have made a decision. He chased after Yu Yang with extreme speed. Ba-yi, Ahu and Feng Shi, come out. Black Hell King did not attack Yu Yang, but followed him from afar as he called for Sky Emperor and his two subordinates. Yu Yang did not care about Black Hell King sending his friends and subordinates to their death. If War Tiger of the East, Fierce Tooth of the North and Sky Emperor believed Black Hell King, then they deserved to die. Yu Yang drew a unique rune circle with his hands, letting the heaven runes float on the dome of the entire Crystal Plaza. After the agreed signal, a light flashed in the sky. Princess Sisai, who carried the prison Emperor Divine Sword, and Shui Wuxia, who held a gold-ranked ancient book, appeared in front of Yu Yang. Yu Yang was surprised and happy to see the two girls. "Why are you two here? Didn't I tell you not to come?" He looked like he was blaming them, but he hugged them tightly in his arms. "Long time no see." Yu Yang really missed them. He wanted to ask, "Where are Night Empress and Ji Zun?" but seeing Shui Wuxia secretly making a secret hand gesture, he immediately shut his mouth. He suppressed the joy in his heart. Night Empress and Ji Zun were already here. It was just that they had some kind of plan, and did not want the enemy to know of their existence. When Princess Sisai saw Yu Yang, she changed her previous unruly attitude and threw herself into his arms. She hugged Yu Yang tightly and did not let go, as if Yu Yang would disappear if she let go. Her eyes were red and her lips trembled. She wanted to say something but stopped. When Yu Yang cupped her little face, wanting to see if there were any changes to the tigress that he had not seen for a long time, she suddenly lowered her head and bit Yu Yang's shoulder with her silver teeth. "Idiot, why did you come here for no reason? We were all worried to death." Shui Wuxia was calmer. Seeing that Black Hell King was looking at them with bad intentions, she quickly reminded, "Let's enter the grimoire world first." Under the guidance of Little One Li and the others, Princess Sisai and Shui Wuxia entered the grimoire world. The silver-armored general that represented the Western Heaven Realm's arbitration guardian flew over at high speed. Wait, before his voice could reach them, Yu Yang and the two girls had already returned to the grimoire world. No matter how much the enemy tried to say, they could forget about Yu Yang believing their word. Believing the enemy's words was undoubtedly courting death. Black Hell King almost ignored the strength of Princess Sisai and Shui Wuxia. However, he was secretly scared by the prison Emperor Excalibur on Princess Sisai's back. He was very clear on how terrifying the prison Emperor Excalibur was. Now that Yu Yang had the prison Emperor Excalibur and the Heaven Realm's arbitration guardian, Black Hell King felt a headache. Returning to the grimoire world, Yu Yang could not wait to ask Shui Wuxia, "Where are Night Empress and Jizun? They have always been behind you." Suddenly, Night Empress' voice sounded behind Yu Yang. "In order to prevent that Song Yen from discovering us, we used a little invisibility trick." Chapter 534. Night Empress' words gave Yu Yang a huge shock. When did she come in? Why couldn't he sense anything? Even if it was Tong Tian Tower's ultimate killer and she, Yu Yang would still be able to sense her when he couldn't see through her invisibility. Now that Night Empress had entered the grimoire world that was completely under his control, he couldn't even sense her presence. What did the mysterious Night Empress look like? Yu Yang's curiosity exploded and he quickly turned around, wanting to see Night Empress. Who would have thought that there was no one behind him? "Although your eyesight and senses are pretty good, you can't see us now." Night Empress' words made Yu Yang sweat profusely. So other than Night Empress, Jizun was also here. And they were also invisible. Yu Yang's heaven eyes' divine vision couldn't even see through them. What level of existence were they? What was this invisibility trick? Was it the power of the divine equipment, or was it their own talent? Yu Yang couldn't figure it out. He only knew that Jizun and Night Empress were both in front of him. Forget it, instead of studying how Jizun and Night Empress became invisible, it was better to study how to deal with the enemy. Yu Yang quickly abandoned his invisibility trick and pretended to be an obedient child. He bowed towards the space in front of him to show his respect to Night Empress and Jizun. Princess Sisai, Shui Wuxia and the others followed closely behind Yu Yang and bowed respectfully. "No need to be so courteous, tell everyone about the situation." Jizun's clear and unique voice rang out softly. In front of Jizun, even Phoenix Fairy Beauty, who was not afraid of anything, had to hold her breath. She didn't dare to speak. Southern Demon King was very excited. One must know that her idol was Jizun. Yu Yang quickly explained the situation in the death arena. He even combined the information he got from Queen Vivian Li with his own speculations to analyze the current situation. The arrival of the interferers is definitely not a good thing. Their target is most likely us. If Jiu Shao, Void and the others did not escape from the prison Emperor Divine Palace, then the people of the Heaven Realm might not know that the warriors of Tong Tian Tower had already declined. Using my blood to start the ancient war, I suspect that it was either Jiu Shao or Void or the Scarlet Emperor, because the Scarlet Emperor might have escaped to the Heaven Realm. The Scarlet Emperor should still be in the Soaring Dragon continent. Rather than going to the Heaven Realm, he might as well think of a way to get the secret treasures in the God's ruins. When Night Empress said this, Yu Yang suddenly understood why Night Empress and Jizun were so late. The reason was that the Scarlet Emperor was still in the Soaring Dragon continent. Once they left, there would be no one to defend the Soaring Dragon continent. Actually, We have enough points. Yu Yang suddenly felt that it was better for Night Empress and Ji Zun not to come. If they came, it would be easier for the soaring dragon continent to have problems. Let's not think about the Scarlet Emperor for now. Ji Zun persuaded Yu Yang to let go of his worries. Since things have come to this, let's be bold and fight. Your training is not bad, your comprehension and talent are unparalleled. It's just that you are too calm, always pursuing perfection, and care too much about victory and loss. This is not to say that your intelligence is not good, but to be a tyrant, you should look down on the world, the heavens and the earth, look down on the world's tyrants like weeds, and look down on the enemies like they are nothing. Only then can you be the supreme of the world. Ji Zun's words shook Yu Yang's heart. Like a bolt of lightning, it lit up Yu Yang's heart. Using martial arts to talk about respect. Yu Yang's state of mind was at a bottleneck. These words had a shocking effect on Yu Yang. His state of mind was like a heavy door. It was simply and directly pushed open by Ji Zun. Yu Yang closed his eyes. He was enlightened by Ji Zun's words, and his blood was boiling. That's right, if I was strong enough, why would I need to think of any schemes? In the face of absolute power, no matter how good or brilliant a scheme was, it would all be useless. The reason why he had so many concerns was mainly because he was not strong enough. A true expert not only needed to be strong in terms of strength, but also in terms of mentality. It was not that he was not strong, it was just that he did not have the mentality of an expert like Ji Zun. This mentality of an expert was not arrogance, but a clear understanding of one's own strength. It could be said that it was a kind of awareness to truly understand oneself. Perhaps Ji Zun saw that he was still stuck in this realm, so she purposely pointed it out and let him have an epiphany. In an instant, Yu Yang, who was enlightened by Ji Zun, had an indescribable improvement in his state of mind. His previous state of mind broke through in an instant and was raised to a whole new level. Yu Yang's aura was completely restrained, like a hidden dragon in the abyss. While everyone was stunned, the aura on Yu Yang's body, like a volcano, completely erupted. Countless brilliance emitted from Yu Yang's hands, body, and face. A part of it naturally formed a flame lotus, and a part of it formed a snowflake. The lightning that was originally outside of his body was now flashing in Yu Yang's eyes, intertwining with each other, forming a strange purple lightning eye. The star explosion domain expanded rapidly from an extremely small point, becoming like a nebula, faintly forming a mysterious galaxy like the Milky Way. One after another, runes appeared on the surface of Yu Yang's body. They combined into different patterns. As for the Nirvana fire phoenix that the Phoenix sisters gave to Yu Yang, it rose from the top of his head and rushed to the sky. Then, it fell back down and fused with him, transforming into a Nirvana fire armor and Nirvana fire wings that were decorated with phoenix patterns. This Nirvana fire armor and Nirvana fire wings, compared to before, were even more beautiful and powerful. Shui Wuxia, Princess Sisai, and the Impatiens, who had practiced body fusion with Yu Yang before, couldn't help but float in the air, like fairies scattering flowers, dancing in the wind around him. They automatically entered the realm of being one with his mind, and following his enlightenment, they were also improving themselves at the same time. Although their improvement wasn't as fast as his, it was still not a small improvement. After a long time, Yu Yang finally recovered from his enlightenment. His entire temperament was completely different, not to mention Princess Sisai and the others, who were watching from the side, felt that he was completely different from before. Even Yu Yang himself felt that he was a little stronger. Every movement felt like it was in harmony with heaven and earth. This was the mysterious feeling he had when he was enlightened in the past, and now he could control it freely. Yu Yang really didn't dare to imagine how much he had improved. What was certain was that after this enlightenment, Yu Yang's strength would rise to a new level. Now, whether it was the power of domain, the power of the law of fate, or the innate invisible sword qi, the control of Gui Tsang and Shuanghua. Yu Yang had a deeper understanding of them. Yu Yang raised his hands, and almost couldn't believe the power he had now. Only now did he know that what Queen Vivian said was true. His strength was very strong, but he couldn't use it much. After receiving guidance from Jizun, although Yu Yang still couldn't use his full strength. But compared to 10 minutes ago, Yu Yang was completely different. His strength had improved greatly. When it comes to cultivation, you may not be the most diligent, but when it comes to comprehension and talent, you are indeed the most outstanding, and no one can match you. Queen Knight was surprised by Yu Yang's progress. She had never seen a person who could suddenly break through and grow up just because of a few words of guidance. You're still a little short of the innate sovereign realm, but you have other supplements, so you can barely get by. Jizun was also pleased with Yu Yang's speed of growth. Shui Wuxia and Princess Sisai, of course, hugged each other to celebrate. Impatience didn't show it on the surface, but she was very proud in her heart. Regardless of the previous battle with her sister, at least in terms of Yu Yang, she had succeeded in leading her sister. Previously, because she was jealous of her sister, she was determined to snatch Yu Yang and make him fall and become bad. Later, after getting along with him for a long time, she was not able to make him become bad, but she was unknowingly deeply attracted to him. Later, she cultivated with him, and even experienced life and death battles together. Today, the relationship between her and him had become husband and wife. Although the original battle was meaningless, after all, she was in the lead. This, in her entire life, was the only time she had won over her sister. Of course, it was just in her heart. Impatience absolutely did not dare to say it out. You guys have reunited after a long time, there must be something to talk about. From now on, everyone rest for an hour, and then let's go out and meet the guests from the Heaven Realm. Queen Knight giggled, indicating that she would give Yu Yang an hour off. She and Jizun did not show up and quietly disappeared. 10 minutes ago, Yu Yang could not sense the existence of Queen Knight and Jizun at all. After the breakthrough in his state of mind, Yu Yang could not see, but he could vaguely sense that there was a person not far in front of him. It should be Queen Knight. Jizun, Yu Yang found that he still could not sense her existence. Maybe he needed to improve again. He needed to increase his strength to the next level. What kind of existences were they? Yu Yang really did not dare to say now, because the strength displayed by Queen Knight and Jizun had far exceeded Yu Yang's imagination. Crystal Plaza. While Yu Yang, Shui Wuxiao and Princess Sisai were deeply hugging each other, resolving the pain of lovesickness, Elder Nan Gong, Emperor of the Underworld, Sky Emperor and the others were standing in front of the silver-armored general debating, each with different opinions. No one could convince the other. The rules will not be easily changed. I hope that everyone will not choose to protect the arbitration. After all, we are the representatives of the Western Heaven Realm Tong Tian Tower. Elder Nan Gong did not have high hopes for the Sky Emperor, War Tiger of the East and Fierce Tooth of the North. He hoped that the 15 foreign innates and 5 human innates would stay and not easily leave the team. How can you say that? Sky Emperor criticized with a little pride and anger. Everyone does not have enough strength. Temporarily submit to the arbitration, leave the team and avoid being killed by the rules. Isn't this good? Moreover, we entered the ancient arena by mistake. It was not voluntary. Submit? I refuse. Emperor of the Underworld was the first to disappear and return to the grimoire world. Other than Yu Yang, he would not believe anyone else. If it was Yu Clan's third young master's suggestion, Emperor of the Underworld might consider it. However, this was good news from the Black Hell King. Emperor of the Underworld would not accept it. Who was the Black Hell King? He was someone who would sell himself and still count the money for him. The Black Hell King was the one who ate people without spitting out their bones. Moreover, he had already betrayed the team and was now an enemy. Could the words of an enemy be trusted? Emperor of the Underworld would definitely not believe it, however. He would not advise his companions to stay like Elder Nangong. Everyone had their own ambitions, this kind of thing could not be forced. As expected by Emperor of the Underworld, when the silver-armored general guaranteed that it was only a temporary submission and that they could escape from the rules, all the innate rankers were tempted. They bowed to Elder Nangong, who had been protecting them. Elder Nangong, I am very sorry. You also know that our strength is weak, and we are not of much help to the team. Instead of dragging the team down, it would be better for us to leave early. Sky Emperor also patted his chest and guaranteed, Don't worry, although I do not have Elder Nangong's reputation, I am not a cruel tyrant. If you are willing to submit to the arbitration, I will take care of everyone as a temporary team leader. I guarantee that we will not pursue our past grievances and work together to leave the death arena. Although they did not say it, the 15 foreign innates and 5 human innates had already stood behind Sky Emperor. In the face of death, they were willing to believe that the arbitration would be a temporary release. Choosing to leave the team and submit to someone else, what else could Elder Nangong say? Then I wish you all good luck. Elder Nangong sighed. He knew that regardless of whether these innate rankers could escape from the rules, Yu Yang would not help them anymore. Because this was also a form of betrayal. If not for Yu Yang, these people would have died long ago. Although it was a smart decision for them to choose to leave at this time, it was the biggest betrayal to Yu Yang, who had been persevering in battle. Elder Nangong knew that Yu Yang would definitely not forgive them. Even though he knew Yu Yang's temperament and knew the outcome, Elder Nangong still could not persuade his teammates who were about to betray him, even if they were the 5 human innates that he had been taking care of. I am sorry. One of the human innates bowed to Elder Nangong apologetically. It's okay, actually I am already used to parting. It is a pity that my choice is different from yours. Please take good care of yourselves in the future. Elder Nangong also rejected the silver-armored general's suggestion and returned to the grimoire world. As for Elder Nangong, Black Hell King already knew that he would not be able to rope him in. Moreover, he also knew that Elder Nangong telling the innates who betrayed the team about joining him was actually a psychological test. The result of the test was obvious: none of them passed. Black Hell King's eyes were filled with ridicule, but it quickly disappeared so that the Sky Emperor and the other innates could not see it. He looked at the direction where Yu Yang disappeared and muttered, Yu Clan's third young master will come out soon, let's leave quickly. When the Sky Emperor and the rest followed the silver-armored general to the central plaza, there was already a group of people gathered there. They were Fun Tian and Wang Jin's family and friends who lived in the grimoire world. There were also many ancient warriors, among which the 2 ancient war gods were the most eye-catching. Seeing Huang Quan, Yun Xing and the 3-eyed tiger man were all there, especially the 2 ancient war gods. The Sky Emperor, who was late, completely relaxed. Looks like it was not a scam. Although it was a little embarrassing to join the arbiters, it was better than dying. Besides, this was only temporary. It wasn't like they were going to submit to him forever. Other than Yu Clan's third young master, Emperor of the Underworld, Elder Nangong and a few other lower-level representatives from the Western Heaven Realm, everyone else is here. The silver-armored general respectfully reported to the mysterious man, Song Yen. Since that's the case, let's start the confirmation of allegiance. The mysterious man Song Yen waved his hand and spoke in a tone that was as if he was a savior. The Sky Emperor Ba-Yi was about to step forward and bow to the 12-winged angel. Suddenly, he realized that the 12-winged angel, Tiger Man, Lich and even the silver-armored general in front of him had started a massacre in an instant. The human innates who were walking beside the Sky Emperor had no reaction at all and were instantly killed by the silver-armored general. Before the word escape flashed in his mind, the Sky Emperor already saw the silver-armored general's right hand rapidly enlarging in front of him and pressing on his face. Chapter 535. With the death of a teammate, the death penalty would be triggered, and the pursuer would gain more power. Before Yu Yang could sit down and chat with Shui Wuxia, Princess Sisai and the others, the consciousness that seemed to represent the creator of the ancient code once again appeared in Yu Yang's mind, announcing a piece of news that was both reasonable and unexpected at the same time. Yu Yang understood that, under the temptation of the interferer, there would be warriors who would side with the enemy. But he didn't expect that the news would come so quickly. Could it be that those fellows didn't use their brains to consider the reality of the situation? Did the pressure of death make them brainless? What was even more strange was, why did the enemy make a move so quickly? They didn't even try to entice him, and they already started killing? What's wrong? Princess Sisai suddenly realized that Yu Yang's expression was a little strange. I have to go out and take a look. Yu Yang didn't know how many people had died outside. Be careful. Shui Wuxia understood Yu Yang the best. When Yu Yang left the grimoire world, he realized that Elder Nangong and the Emperor of the Underworld had both come out and were sensing the central plaza with an excited expression. Seeing that his most loyal ally, Elder Nangong, was fine, Yu Yang's heart relaxed a lot. As for the Emperor of the Underworld, he didn't fall for it either, which made Yu Yang quite happy. This meant that other than being smart, the Emperor of the Underworld was also very focused on teamwork and keeping his own promises. He was a trustworthy teammate. Under the threat of death, in front of that beautiful temptation, the Emperor of the Underworld put aside all the temptations and firmly maintained himself. It was really not easy. Little Yu Yang, I'm sorry, I couldn't convince them. Elder Nangong's expression was a little gloomy as he shook his head. Now, only the few of us are left. The Emperor of the Underworld hinted that there was a massacre going on in the central plaza, and the probability of the teammates who were lured there surviving was very low. They will leave, even if they don't leave now, they won't be able to stay in the future. You guys rest first. I'll go take a look. Don't worry, I'll be fine. Yu Yang nodded towards Elder Nangong and the Emperor of the Underworld. With a breakthrough in his state of mind, and with Ji Zun and Night Empress accompanying him in secret, Yu Yang calmly flew towards the central plaza. Central Square. At this moment, that place had become a slaughterhouse. Fan Tian, Wang Jin and the rest's relatives and friends were all killed. The remaining ancient warriors all died in the massacre. The Eastern Heaven Realm's ancient guardian war god, the 50-meter-tall 12-winged angel, and the 80-meter-tall tiger lion man who protected the Southern Heaven Realm, were both knocked down to the ground. The ancient slaughterer Beast King, along with 4 commanders and 6 captains, attacked them crazily. They were heavily injured and on the verge of death. Huang Quan, Yun Xing, Fan Tian and the rest frantically tried to stop them, hoping to save their companions. However, under the attacks of the arbiters guarding the 4 sides, it was of no use. The mysterious man, Song Yen, emitted a unique domain that enveloped the entire central plaza. Within his domain, the weakest bugman was knocked down, heavily injured, and on the verge of death. The Golden Zombie Emperor's corpse was split into 8 pieces. He was the first heaven-ranked ranker to die in battle. Fan Tian fought a bloody battle. Even though he gave up his life to stop them, not only was he unable to save his companions, he himself was also in danger. Kill me too, you damned liar. Fan Tian was different from Huang Quan and Yun Xing. He originally trusted Song Yen unreservedly, but he did not expect that what he got in return was a cruel lie. His beloved wife, he wanted to share the joy of success with her, but he did not expect to bring her a nightmarish lie, and even death. Damn it! Although none of their relatives were killed, Huang Quan and Yun Xing, who chose to believe the enemy in the end, were also furious. Because of the difference in strength, and the success of the enemy's plot. Huang Quan knew. This battle was already irreversible. The only thing he could do was to kill the enemy, and strive to wipe away the humiliation in his heart before he died. Black hell, save me! Sky Emperor Ba-Yi was not dead yet. His strength was originally not enough to last until now. However, he was not the main target of the massacre. After forcefully withstanding the fatal blow of the silver-armored general, his face was smashed and his teeth fell out. His originally elegant face was covered with blood stains. "I'm sorry, I can't help even if I wanted to." Facing his old friend's pleading, Black Hell King looked away and shook his head slowly, refusing. "I'm willing to transfer to your side, please give me a chance." Sky Emperor Ba-Yi could not return to the grimoire world. Under the mysterious man Song Yan's unique domain, no one could easily leave. "Is that so?" The mysterious man Song Yan, who was wearing a purple-gold cloak, waved his hand casually and said in a savior-like tone, "Kneel down and beg me." As the chief consul of the Guangming continent, as one of the 5 emperors of Tong Tian Tower, Sky Emperor Ba-Yi, ever since he was born, in his entire life, he had never knelt down to anyone before. Now, could he really use humiliation and surrender in exchange for his life? Sky Emperor did not know, but he did not have a second choice. Under the astonished gaze of War Tiger of the East and Fierce Tooth of the North, he slowly knelt down. With a pause sound, he knelt on the cold ground of the central plaza. His heart was filled with humiliation, but he did not dare to show it on his face. When he bowed down, his tears mixed with his blood and dripped onto the ground. For his life, he gave up his honor as a warrior. Yu Yang had just arrived and saw this scene. Stunned. Although this had nothing to do with him and the Sky Emperor was not a good person, he was still his teammate. As one of the 5 emperors of Tong Tian Tower, it was a great humiliation for Sky Emperor Ba-Yi to kneel down and beg his enemy for mercy. If the senior warriors of the Soaring Dragon continent from 10,000 years ago knew about this, they would probably scold their descendants for shaming them. A warrior could be killed but not humiliated. Yu Yang did not know why the Sky Emperor did this, but he knew that even if the Sky Emperor did this, Song Yan would definitely not let the Sky Emperor off. The weak had no rights. No matter what the Sky Emperor did, he would not be pitied or forgiven. Song Yan humiliated the Sky Emperor like this because he wanted to gain more pleasure from torturing the weak before he killed him. Sky Emperor Ba-Yi, this is useless." Yu Yang sighed. Compared to the Ocean Emperor Guanlan, the Sky Emperor Ba-Yi was not weak, but in terms of a warrior's pride and honor, the Sky Emperor was still lacking. When the Ocean Emperor Guanlan knew that he was going to die, he chose to fight to the end. He would rather die than submit. Even in the end, he still chose to die calmly and heroically used his head to repay the debt he owed to Enshi. The Ocean Emperor Guanlan died. He died a heroic death. Although Yu Yang insisted on fulfilling Old Man Enshi's wish and killing the Ocean Emperor Guanlan, he personally respected this man who dared to take responsibility for his actions. He did not judge the Ocean Emperor Guanlan based on his success or failure. The Sky Emperor, who was also one of the 5 emperors of Tong Tian Tower, actually kneeled down and begged his enemy for mercy at the last moment. This action made Yu Yang feel rather disappointed. This also made Yu Yang understand more. A warrior's strength was not the most important factor in becoming strong, but a warrior's mentality was the most powerful guarantee. Even if a sheep had the strength of a lion, it was still a sheep. In terms of strength, the Sky Emperor Ba-Yi was actually a strong warrior. Although he was not the strongest, at least he had the ability to protect himself. However, the Sky Emperor did not use his strength to protect himself. Instead, he kneeled down and begged for mercy. In terms of mentality, he had completely become a weakling. "Don't care about me. Since you guys can't help me, then don't care about me." The Sky Emperor trembled in extreme pain. He, who had always been high and mighty, naturally felt extremely humiliated. However, facing an enemy that he could not defeat, what choice did he have? The Sky Emperor did not want to die here. He hoped that he could live like the Black Hell King. Well done, I like smart people. Now, the merciful me will give you guys a chance. Be like him, kneel down and surrender to me. Song Yen, who was wearing a purple gold cloak, pretended to be generous and spread his hands, indicating that he was willing to surrender now. Pui, goddamn liar, I want to eat your blood and sleep on your skin. Fantion, who originally worshipped and respected Song Yen, was so angry that his eyes were spitting fire. Fight to the end, only death awaits. Huang Quan's attitude was as firm as a rock. Tiger, Feng Shi, come here. The Black Hell King suddenly called for his two loyal subordinates. War Tiger of the East and Fierce Tooth of the North looked at each other. Suddenly, both of them knelt down. All four knees on the ground compared to the lower-level representatives of the North, South, East and West Heaven realms, Yu Yang was a little speechless. Could it be that the West Heaven realm was full of spineless people? Forget about the Sky Emperor Bai. Now even War Tiger of the East and Fierce Tooth of the North had to kneel down and beg for mercy? However, it was really not strange for them to kneel down, because their master was the Black Hell King. Now that the Black Hell King was in the enemy's camp, it was very reasonable for War Tiger of the East and Fierce Tooth of the North to change sides. It was completely within Yu Yang's expectations. Hell King, Hu Tu and Feng Shi have followed you for many years. We have always been loyal and never went against your wishes. War Tiger of the East kowtowed. Alright, get up and come to my side. The Black Hell King was also reluctant to let his two capable subordinates die. It was easy to find capable people, but it was hard to find loyal people. We haven't finished speaking. Hell King, Hu Tu and Feng Shi used to be your master and servant. Everything we have was given to us by Hell King. If today's events did not happen, we would have followed you forever and not let you down. But today we are in different camps. Please forgive Hu Tu and Feng Shi for being disloyal. We can no longer follow you. Our skills and the grace of giving us a new lease of life, we will now return it all to you. Feng Shi bids you farewell. Fierce Tooth of the North also kowtowed. He pulled out the dagger at his waist at lightning speed and stabbed it deep into his heart. Twisting it with his sword Qi, his other hand reached into his internal organs and dug out the entire heart. Under the complicated gaze of the Black Hell King, Fierce Tooth of the North slowly crushed the heart. War Tiger of the East closed his eyes. The moment he exploded and reached his limit, he flew towards the nearest ancient slaughterer captain and self-destructed. Even though he knew that self-destruction was futile, War Tiger of the East still chose to die in battle, and not surrender respectfully. They could kneel to repay a favor, but they would never beg for mercy. Chapter 536. Yu Yang was surprised by War Tiger of the East and Fierce Tooth of the North's actions. At the same time, he felt respect for them, even though they were enemies. But no matter who they were, as long as they were absolutely loyal, they were worthy of respect. There would never be a lack of geniuses in this world, nor would there be a lack of leaders. What was truly lacking were loyal subordinates like War Tiger of the East and Fierce Tooth of the North. It wasn't easy to be a subordinate, and it was even harder to be loyal and righteous. War Tiger of the East and Fierce Tooth of the North couldn't agree with Black Hell King's ideals, but they chose death instead of betraying him. Pain flashed across Black Hell King's eyes. He could have stopped War Tiger of the East and Fierce Tooth of the North's deaths. Of course, it didn't matter if he did or not. The ending would be the same. He didn't want War Tiger of the East and Fierce Tooth of the North to commit suicide, but he didn't have the ability to protect these two loyal subordinates. Firstly, they had changed sides. War Tiger of the East and Fierce Tooth of the North weren't willing to abandon their honor as warriors, change sides and join Heaven Realm's arbiters. Secondly, with Black Hell King's strength, he didn't have the right to speak here. Black Hell King, you're such a failure. Yu Yang was very angry at Black Hell King's silence. He couldn't help but mock this traitor from 6,000 years ago. Black Hell King remained silent. A hint of pain flashed across his eyes, but it disappeared in an instant. I'm really sincere in submitting to you, please accept me. Sky Emperor Ba-Yi couldn't care less about the crowd's mockery anymore. Since he had already knelt down, he didn't mind begging Song Yen. Very well, I definitely won't reject someone who's sincere in submitting to me. The mysterious man Song Yen waved his hand. You are 2 kilometers away from the Crystal Passage. If you can prove your ability and reach the Crystal Passage within 10 seconds, I'll accept you. Not just you, everyone must know that I won't accept trash as my subordinates. Yes. Sky Emperor Ba-Yi was confident in his speed. If he flew by himself, 10 seconds should be enough. You idiot. Yu Yang was speechless towards the Sky Emperor. Shut up, don't worry about me. I am sincerely pledging my allegiance to Sir Song Yen. If you want to die, then don't drag me down with you. I want to live a good life. I can't die here just because of some pointless sacrifice. You humans are useless against me. I just want to live well and not die as a hero. Sky Emperor Ba-Yi roared at Yu Yang angrily. He knew that Yu Yang despised him. In fact, the Sky Emperor also despised him a little. However, he had no choice as the reality was so harsh. If he didn't surrender, he would lose his life. War Tiger of the East and Fierce Tooth of the North had died in front of him. The Sky Emperor definitely didn't want him to die a useless death. He wanted to live and continue living so that he could do something great. Sky Emperor Ba-Yi saw that Yu Yang did not say anything and that the Black Hell King was trying to protect himself. Right now, he could only rely on himself. He summoned his guardian beast, as well as a few support beasts, and raised his strength to the limit. Peak of innate level 10, he did not hold back and leveled up, just to save his life. Under the signal of the mysterious man Song Yen, he shot out like an arrow leaving the bow. A strong airflow split open, forming a sonic boom. The super-fast speed allowed Sky Emperor Ba-Yi's body to draw a long shadow in the air like a meteor. With his full strength, the Sky Emperor didn't even need 10 seconds to reach the Crystal Passage. In 10 seconds, he even had the time to go back and forth and return to his original position. He peeked at the mysterious man Song Yan's attitude and realized that he seemed to admire him. He quickly kneeled down and worshipped Song Yen. Very good, not a bad speed. I hereby announce that you are now my subordinate. Song Yan's words moved the Sky Emperor to tears. I swear to be loyal to Lord Song Yen until death. The Sky Emperor quickly expressed his loyalty and raised his hand to swear. Since you are my subordinate, then everything should be mine, including your life. Go and die. The mysterious man Song Yen suddenly raised his right hand and slowly clenched it into a fist. A giant hand appeared around the Sky Emperor, who was in Song Yan's strange domain, tightly grabbing his body. The Sky Emperor was like a puppet being crushed by a giant. He screamed in pain as all his bones and tendons were broken. He fell to the ground like a pile of mud. Before he could beg for mercy, the Sky Emperor's body exploded with a boom. Fresh blood, broken bones and muddy flesh. Blood splattered all over the sky. The silver-armored general and the other 3 arbiters burst into laughter, as if they had seen the funniest fool in the world. The Black Hell King's expression changed slightly, but he remained silent. On the other hand, Fun Tian and Yun Xing were extremely furious. Even Huang Quan, who was the calmest, couldn't help but widen his eyes. Song Yen, you are too much. Even if you are a stronger heaven ranker, you can't play with us like this and humiliate us like this. Ants like you, don't be too naive. Song Yen mocked lightly. Other than death, the only thing you can enjoy is humiliation. Because the most suitable thing for weaklings is eternal humiliation. Huang Quan, of course I have heard of you. You want to challenge me as a heaven-ranked level 3? You overestimate yourself. When you excitedly started the ancient war in the death arena, You were already destined to be like this. To think that you still believe that we are the arbiters of the heaven realm. Before you die, let me tell you the truth. We are actually pursuers. The real arbiters had already died 10,000 years ago. Third young master, we shouldn't have doubted your words. Huang Quan apologized to Yu Yang with guilt. The real death arena has already deteriorated. Moreover, this is not your fault. Yu Yang also knew that it was Tsang Yen and the others who were behind this. They secretly manipulated the ancient war. Including himself, they were all forced to enter. Continue moaning like weaklings. You don't have much time left. Tsang Yen mocked arrogantly. High up in the sky above the dome, dozens of light pillars were cast down. Including Sky Emperor Ba Yi, the 4 participants who were killed triggered the ancient code's punishment. Tens of ancient slaughterers descended. Huang Quan shouted loudly, stopping Fan Tian from self-destructing in despair. He looked at Yu Yang, who was the calmest. Third young master, do you have any other ideas? Even the Black Hell King looked a little curious. Perhaps he also felt that Yu Yang did not look like a hopeless loser. The silver-armored general laughed loudly. Is that so? Then I'm really curious. Are you the successor of the new prison emperor? Immature human little bean sprout, quickly use your brain to think of something. Don't you people from the soaring dragon continent always think of yourselves as smart? I don't have any ideas, but I have a good master. Yu Yang smiled slightly. If the disciple is bullied, the master will lose face. Who bullied you? Ji Zun's voice was as clear as the sound of nature. The moment she opened her mouth, the silver-armored general, who was laughing hysterically, suddenly became hoarse. It was as if he was slapped in the face. His mouth opened and closed, but he could no longer laugh. The silver-armored general was furious. He had never been suppressed by someone's voice before. He immediately stared at Yu Yang's back. He thought that Ji Zun would appear behind Yu Yang. Standing beside the silver-armored general were his companions Lich and Tiger Man. Both of them shouted at the same time. Be careful! The silver-armored general heard them and slowly turned around. He realized that a human beauty wearing strange clothes was floating behind him. He could not tell the strength of this human beauty at all. She did not even look like an innate rancor. Instead, she looked like an ordinary human that was as weak as an ant. Apart from the tiny 6-winged angel circling around her, she was no different from an ordinary human woman. The silver-armored general felt that if he sneezed, the shock wave he produced would kill her. Such a weak existence, what could she want to do? The silver-armored general really wanted to reach out and pinch this human beauty to death. In the end, out of caution, he looked at Yu Yang with uncertainty, as if he wanted to verify if this human beauty was the master he was talking about. Could it be that this human beauty who came to die was a blood sacrifice trap? What special ability was he using her life to summon? The silver-armored general was puzzled. Did he bully you? Ji Zun's body did not have any aura of a rancor. She was no doubt an ordinary person. Since the last time she met Yu Yang, she had also improved rapidly. She had already reached the realm of returning to her original state. Yu Yang could not even see her realm with his heaven eyes' divine vision, let alone the silver-armored general. I've embarrassed you. Yu Yang acted as if he had been bullied miserably. All right, then kill him, Ji Zun said. Ah, could it be that the soaring dragon continent is full of funny clowns? The silver-armored general was stunned at first, then burst into laughter. He almost rolled on the ground laughing. Not to mention the heaven-ranked level 3 silver-armored general, even Huang Quan, Fan Tian and Yun Xing were not optimistic about Ji Zun. Even if she had the same or higher strength as the other party, in front of so many strong enemies, how could she kill the other party? Tsang Yen would definitely not sit back and do nothing. Moreover, the other party was not a rookie who could be killed easily. He was a heaven-ranked level 3 rancor. Ji Zun slowly raised her hand. Her jade-like fingers slowly drew a mysterious six-pointed star pattern in the void. No one could see what she was trying to do, nor could they see the power of this pattern, except for Yu Yang, who had the Heaven Eye's divine vision. Yu Yang could see that in the sky where Ji Zun's fingers had drawn, there was actually a crack in the sky. It was a real crack in space, not an illusion. In other words, she had easily broken the void with the innate invisible sword Qi, Gui Tsang and Shuang Hua. Ji Zun, she only used her jade-like fingers, did not condense any power on the surface, nor did she need to use any weapons. This kind of strength was really far beyond Yu Yang's original psychological expectations. Ji Zun's jade-like hands gently clenched, and the six-pointed star pattern that was drawn instantly shattered millions of fragments. Caught in Ji Zun's hands, Song Yan's eyes changed, becoming incomparably hot. He instinctively felt threatened by Ji Zun's move. The silver-armored general panicked at this time. He never thought that the enemy in front of him could actually use her hands to directly shatter the void. Shocked, he retreated backwards. In an instant, the holy sword at his waist slashed out, hoping to force the strange and terrifying enemy in front of him to retreat through an extremely fast attack. The holy sword slashed through the air, and a biting cold sword Qi cut through the sky. However, Ji Zun had already disappeared. She gracefully appeared behind the silver-armored general, her lily-like white palm holding a black particle that had been condensed to the limit. That was the terrifying black piece that had condensed after shattering the void. The silver-armored general turned around as fast as lightning, but in front of her, he was like a snail. Ji Zun flicked her jade-like finger, and that terrifying black piece directly shot towards the silver-armored general's forehead. The silver-armored general's holy armor was pierced through like a thin piece of paper. The black piece pierced through his brain. It came out from the back of his head. The silver-armored general's forehead was pierced through a small hole from the front to the back. The inside was natural, as if it was born this way. The silver-armored general seemed to want to say something, but his body swayed, and he powerlessly knelt on the ground. Then, he fell to the ground with a loud bang, and the holy armor shook on the ground. Instant kill. This result, including Yu Yang, had never thought of it. The Heaven Stage Level 3 Silver Armored General was actually instantly killed in front of Ji Zun. This kind of performance, for the entire audience, was absolutely silent. Those who saw this scene were all dumbfounded. Chapter 537. Ji Zun made her move and instantly killed the silver-armored general, shattering everyone's doubts and shocking everyone present. Except for the mysterious man Song Yan, who was still arrogant. The rest of the pursuers' expressions changed drastically. They were afraid. Heaven Stage Level 3 could be instantly killed? Didn't this mean that other than Heaven Stage Level 5 Song Yan, the other pursuers would not be able to resist and would also be instantly killed by her? This human woman's strength could not be seen from her appearance. What realm had she reached? The Lich, Tiger Man and 12 winged angels in the pursuers' camp were 100 times more vigilant towards the threat of death brought by this human woman. They immediately joined hands and surrounded Ji Zun with a triangular tactic. They were prepared to use a group attack to eliminate this strong enemy. If they fought alone, they would definitely not be able to defeat her. They still had some confidence in surrounding and killing Ji Zun. The enemy in front of them was very strong. Once she made a move, she would be able to instantly kill someone. They did not deny that. But their eyes were shrewd and ruthless. Amidst their shock, they immediately determined that this female human cultivator had a great weakness, and that was that she took a long time to attack. Just now, if the silver-armored general had not been careless and underestimated her, waiting for her to draw the hexagram array and shatter the void to condense that terrifying black piece, he would not have been instantly killed by her. The terrifying black piece was extremely powerful and unstoppable, but it was not difficult to break it. As long as her condensing process was disturbed, She believed that the black piece would not be able to condense successfully. That kind of condensing required special concentration. It was impossible to complete it while doing two things at the same time. As the 12 winged angels, Lich and Tiger Man surrounded her, the ancient slaughterers also roared and rushed towards Ji Zun under the lead of the Beast King. Night Empress, don't be courteous with the enemy now. Hurry up and help. Yu Yang wanted to rush up and help, but he was afraid that he was not strong enough and would drag Ji Zun down. Thus, he asked Night Empress for help. Actually, I'm not a combat type. I'm not good at fighting and my realm is not high either. I just advanced to innate Elder Level 2 not long ago. Do you think that everyone improves as fast as you and Ji Zun? Don't worry, Ji Zun will have a way. Although I've never fought with her before, I know that Ji Zun is the opposite of me. She is the same as you, a combat-type warrior. She gets stronger the stronger she meets. Night Empress still did not show her figure and continued to maintain her mystery. Her words made Yu Yang sweat profusely. The Night Empress was only a level 2 innate supremacy. His Heaven Eyes divine vision couldn't see through a mere innate Elder Level 2, and he couldn't even see through Night Empress invisibility. Compared to the Black Hell King, wasn't Night Empress much better? Not only could his Heaven Eyes divine vision see through the Black Hell King, even Huang Quan, who was at Heaven-ranked Level 3, Lich, Tiger Man, Angel and the Silver-Armored General who had just died could not hide from Yu Yang's eyes. Night Empress' realm was not high, but she was able to remain so mysterious. Could it be because of her training method? Or was it because she had a divine artifact that could conceal everything? Yu Yang couldn't figure it out and was puzzled. Although the conversation between him and Night Empress was soft, Huang Quan and the others still heard it. Each and every one of them cried bitterly. He was so ashamed that he wanted to bang his head against the wall and die. Only now did they realize that there was actually a rancor behind the Yu clan's third young master. If he did not open his mouth to speak, everyone would still be in the dark. If this was an enemy, would there still be a chance for everyone to survive? Roar! The ancient slaughterer Beast King roared angrily at Ji Zun. This tiny human actually gave it a strong sense of threat. This made it shocked and angry. It could no longer suppress the anger in its heart. It instinctively brought along all the ancient slaughterers and approached Ji Zun step by step. It wanted to immediately eliminate this enemy that was a threat to it. Let's attack together and kill her. The Lich, Tiger Man and Angel in the Chaser's camp realized that Ji Zun did not move at all. They were secretly shocked. Could it be that she still had some trump card that made her not afraid of being surrounded? But now that they were riding on a tiger, they could not retreat. They could only brace themselves and attack from all sides. If they retreated, once the opponent succeeded in condensing the black pieces, another person would probably be killed by her on the spot. No one wanted to see such an outcome. Not only the Lich, Tiger Man and Angel, even the Black Hell King who was far away and the mysterious man Song Yen were secretly on guard against Ji Zun's sudden attack. A huge battle was about to break out. Just as Huang Quan, Fun Tian and the rest wanted to retreat far away from the battlefield, they suddenly realized that their bodies were sluggish. An uncontrollable feeling arose in their hearts. They turned pale with fright. They originally thought that this was the effect of Song Yan's strange domain. They did not expect it to be Night Empress. Night Empress' voice rang out like the sound of nature. Ji Zun is about to attack. Her power is not something you can defend against. Hide in my starry sky domain. The entire void suddenly became the firmament universe. One by one, the stars flashed. It was like a brilliant galaxy. They floated in the space of 100 meters around Yu Yang. Although it was not as big as Song Yan's strange domain, it was extremely powerful. It easily chased the strange domain out of the starry sky. The mysterious man Song Yan felt it and his expression changed immediately. He never expected that an enemy who was far weaker than him could actually use her domain to expel his domain. This shock was no less than when Ji Zun killed the silver-armored general in one move. Everyone knew that the domain was directly proportional to the master's power. The stronger the master, the more powerful the domain. A heaven-ranked level 2 human girl could actually use her domain to expel his domain? This kind of thing was simply a fantasy. It was even more exaggerated than an ant overturning an elephant. There was a difference of at least 3 levels of power, but her domain was able to win. This was too unbelievable. Humph! Song Yan snorted coldly. His body emitted an endless amount of black gas. The strange domain that enveloped the entire area shook slightly. Instantly, a shock wave exploded from Song Yan's body and spread outwards like a hurricane. The 100-meter-wide starry sky domain immediately received the most direct impact. Being surrounded by the opponent's domain, it kept shrinking. In the black hurricane-like shockwave, the weakest ancient slaughterer, who was only heaven-ranked level 1, could barely stand. Their bodies swayed as if they were about to collapse. From this, it could be seen how powerful the shockwave was. However, Yu Yang, who was in front of the shockwave, did not feel any pressure at all. Although the starry sky domain had shrunk to 80 meters, it was as stable as a mountain. No matter how the shockwave from the opponent's domain exploded, it could not be shaken at all. Give birth to the Big Dipper. Night Empress' voice was as gentle as water. It was as if there was a jade finger pointing at the void in the dark. It was as if a goddess had used her supreme power to create a star in the firmament. Light lit up. A star that was 100 times brighter than the others was born in the sky north of the starry sky domain. When this star was born, the entire starry sky domain was immediately injected with an indescribable power of the universe. The starry sky domain that was originally suppressed by the opponent immediately expanded and returned to its original state. Within 100 meters of the domain, all the stars that were originally dim became brand new and shone even brighter. The shock wave that swept over was like a clay ox entering the sea. It was no longer of any use. This counterattack made Song Yan's expression change greatly. Huang Quan, Fen Tian, Yunxing, Wang Jin and the others who were in the starry sky domain were all dumbfounded. Under the situation where she did not show herself, the self-proclaimed heaven-ranked level 2 Night Empress could actually repel the domain attack of heaven-ranked level 5 Song Yan? Could it be that the people of the soaring dragon continent were all monsters with abnormal strength? How was this possible? If Night Empress could protect herself, it would be fine. But she actually counterattacked and won the battle. This kind of miraculous performance of defeating the strong made Huang Quan, Fen Tian and Yunxing, who were in a higher realm, want to bang their heads against a block of tofu. This made them feel inferior. This made them feel unbearable. Yu Yang was also sweating profusely. Although Night Empress said that she was not a battle-type warrior, just this starry sky domain alone was enough to make Song Yan return empty-handed. If Night Empress used her full strength, wouldn't that be forget it? Night Empress was one of them. The stronger she was, the better. It would be best if she could join hands with Ji Zun and kill that arrogant Song Yan like a fly. On this side of the battlefield, it was a battle of domain power. On the other side, the battle had also started. The Lich, Tiger Man, Angel and the ancient Slaughterer Beast King's subordinates all surrounded Ji Zun. The ancient Slaughterer Beast King brought along 4 commanders, 8 captains and dozens of ancient slaughterers. They gathered their strength and opened their huge mouths, shooting out waterfall-like fire pillars, forming a raging flame that burned towards Ji Zun who was floating in the void. The Lich used his white bone staff to summon a giant skull, which strangely attacked Ji Zun. The Tiger Man, on the other hand, threw out a tiger-shaped shock wave, which collided with the Angel's golden giant sword's clone/sword blade wave, attacking from both sides. Any kind of attack was not something that a human's body could defend against. Huang Quan and the others watched anxiously. If it were them, they would definitely not be able to defend against these attacks. Furthermore, it would be difficult for them to escape from the battlefield that had almost no gap. Most importantly, Jizun was still in Song Yan's strange domain. She did not even raise her own domain to protect herself. In other words, Song Yan could use his domain power to restrict her at any time, or even attack her. Huang Quan and the others were in despair, but it did not mean that Jizun did not have any tricks up her sleeves. Even Yu Yang did not think that this was a situation where she would definitely die. Yu Yang knew that Jizun would definitely retaliate. He was looking forward to it. Jizun, she would definitely retaliate. How would Jizun retaliate against the enemy's encirclement? It's just a small trick. Jizun's body instantly rose by 100 meters. When all the attacks followed closely behind, she made a beautiful movement of stretching her arms. In an instant, the domain that Song Yan used to restrict her was shattered just like how he shattered the void. Her body exploded with a brilliance that was thousands of times stronger than the sunlight. With Jizun's body as the center, a huge golden light wheel was born. Then, there were hundreds of millions of rays of light that carried the power of destruction. They were like endless light arrows, light swords, light spears. They were as dense as a light rain, scattering and exploding in all directions. This kind of destructive light destroyed and annihilated all life and objects that it came into contact with. In an instant, everyone's eyes were blinded. Not to mention the ancient slaughterers in the middle of the battlefield, even Huang Quan, Fun Tian and the others who were hiding in the starry sky domain were blinded by this kind of destructive light. Their brains were instantly in a state of chaos. Their minds were blank. They stood in the starry sky domain blankly, as if they were walking corpses that had lost their souls. If not for the protection of the starry sky domain, they would have been directly exposed to this kind of destructive light and most likely turned into ashes. Orochi's sunlight illumination? What the heck? Yu Yang was dumbfounded. He was in a state of having a computer crash. Damn it. He knew that Jizun's counterattack would be very powerful, but he never expected it to be this powerful. Chapter 538. Even though Yu Yang had the Heaven Eye's divine vision and didn't need his eyes to see directly, and was protected by Night Empress Starry Sky Domain, he still became blind. His eyes hurt. Under the protection of the Starry Sky Domain, the destructive light still had the power to take away one's vision. In order to recover his vision as soon as possible, Yu Yang quickly dripped 2 drops of water of life into his eyes. With the water of life and innate Chi's recovery, his eyes finally felt better. In his blurry vision, Yu Yang saw a scene that he would never forget for the rest of his life. Dozens of ancient slaughterers that were exposed to the destructive light had all lost their lives. Their eyes were still filled with fear when they saw the strong light, but they were forever frozen. Their souls were directly annihilated under the strong light. They were like trees that were cut down, falling to the ground with a loud bang. The ancient slaughterer captains that were stronger than normal ancient slaughterers hugged their heads in pain and rolled on the ground. Although they didn't die, none of the 8 ancient slaughterer captains were seriously injured and on the verge of death. They no longer had the ability to fight. The 4 captains that were stronger than the ancient slaughterer captains also became blind. All 8 of their eyes were destroyed and fresh blood flowed out from their eye sockets. Other than the ancient slaughterer Beast King, the rest of the ancient slaughterers had large amounts of burns and piercing damage on their skin. The ancient slaughterers that fell to the ground were all charred black. There were even a few that were on fire and did not extinguish even after a long time. This was the power of a Jizun's attack. The ancient slaughterer Beast King had reached heaven-ranked level 5, and its body was extremely strong. It suffered the least damage from the destructive light. But, even so, it was also blinded by the destructive light in one of its eyes. When it instinctively covered its eyes with both of its hands, The ancient slaughterer Beast King's finger was one step too slow. It revealed a gap that allowed the light to blind its eye and turn it into a one-eyed monster. A large amount of blood flowed out from its injured eye. The Beast King endured the pain and let out a series of cries. However, it quickly escaped. It was also the only enemy that could escape from the battlefield after the destructive Lights group attack. Ah! The Tiger Man fell from the sky. Tears of blood flowed from his eyes. He struggled to get up, but because of the dizziness in his head, it was difficult for him to stand. The discomfort caused by the strong light made him vomit uncontrollably. His whole body rolled in his vomit, but he could not get rid of the horrible negative state. The Lich was even worse off than the Tiger Man. Perhaps because it was born with darkness, the damage it received from the light was more severe. The Lich was not blinded like the Tiger Man, nor did he vomit, but half of his body was directly incinerated. He turned his body sideways to block the light. He disappeared without a trace. The angels, who were the largest when the light shone on them, didn't fare too well either. The 12 wings on his back usually looked very cool, but because of their large surface area, the amount of light they received was double that of his companions. One could imagine how miserable he was. His 12 wings had all turned into bare roasted chicken wings. His entire body was charred black and emitted a meaty aroma, just like a roasted chicken that was being roasted in the fireplace. Yu Yang looked at it, sweat profusely. Isn't this light of destruction a little too overpowered? Just now, the Tiger Man, the Lich and the Angel were so arrogant, but in the blink of an eye, these 3 kids looked like they came from Africa. Of course, the 3 of them were not the focus of Yu Yang's attention. The one that Yu Yang wanted to see the most was that Song Yen. Was he also battered and exhausted? On the surface, Song Yen was still all right. Firstly, he was further away. Secondly, the cloak on Song Yan's body was a top-grade holy-ranked equipment. Its defense was very strong. Thirdly, Song Yan's strength was the strongest in the field, and he was already prepared. So it was still all right. On the surface, Song Yen was the only one who was calm, as if the light of destruction did not affect him at all. He still had his hands clasped behind his back, calmly staying at his original position. His eyes were not blind, and his eyes were bright. His entire person was incomparably confident. The only thing missing was a shake of his body, and a loud fart that could shock the entire field. Yu Yang did not see that when he was dizzy and blinded, Song Yen was also suffering from a headache. Song Yen was, after all, a heaven-ranked level 5 ranker. His recovery speed was very fast. Furthermore, that strange domain also blocked most of the light attack. If not, Song Yen might not be able to do so even if he wanted to. Before his eyesight recovered, Song Yen opened his eyes wide and pretended to be, "I'm fine." Actually, he was panicking in his heart, afraid that Ji Zun would use sunlight illumination again. If that happened, then he would not be pretending to be blind, but really blind. Song Yen would rather die than believe that his opponent could use this kind of super-strong attack that could instantly kill a group of people. Thus, he forced himself to be fine. This was really like a blind cat bumping into a dead mouse. It could be said that he bumped into the right person. Ji Zun did not use the second wave of the light of destruction. Instead, she stopped and quietly recovered. Song Yen really wanted to attack her. Because if this human girl recovered, then he would have a headache. The problem was that he had just been hit by the light of destruction, and his eyesight had not fully recovered. Furthermore, his opponent might be luring him to kill her. Once he got close, she would use that black chest that could instantly kill him. That was not a joke. Song Yen gave up on the surprise attack while Ji Zun was recovering. Furthermore, there was still the human ranker who knew the starry sky domain and had been hiding and watching. Danger, it did not matter if it was a trap or not, Song Yen would not attack. He definitely would not fall for it. The only person who was not injured was the Black Hell King. It was not that the Black Hell King was stronger than Song Yen, but his escaping speed was extremely fast. Before Ji Zun could attack, he had already escaped back into the grimoire world. It was as if he knew that he would be instantly killed if he stayed. What made Yu Yang most curious was that Song Yen did not use his domain to stop the Black Hell King from escaping. Instead, he allowed him to do so. Could it be that the Black Hell King was the key person in this battle? This thought suddenly flashed across Yu Yang's mind. Save me! The angel flew up in pain. He flapped his bare wings and staggered towards Song Yen. He wanted to beg Song Yen to save his life. Song Yen also wanted to save him, but seeing that Ji Zun still had a strong attack, he immediately decided to stand still and not meddle in other people's business. Ji Zun was not recovering just now. She was just secretly condensing her power. If Song Yen had gone to attack her just now, he would probably have taken the place of the escaping angel and taken the attack. A huge light wheel. It was as bright as the sun. It condensed in Ji Zun's slender hands and quickly became huge. There was a circle of heaven runes around it. They emitted countless rays of light. The center was similar to the world exterminating wheel. There were also 2 ancient runes. The only thing missing was the hidden immemorial rune. This light wheel that was as bright as the sun was much bigger and more powerful than Yu Yang's world exterminating wheel. This sunlight wheel was almost 100% powerful in Ji Zun's hands. Compared to the light wheel in Ji Zun's hands, Yu Yang's world exterminating wheel could only display 5% of its power. There was still a lot of room for improvement. When Yu Yang saw this light wheel, he immediately understood. So it could be condensed like this compared to this light wheel, the world exterminating wheel that was purely made up of runes and had an immemorial rune would undoubtedly have more potential and power. But with Yu Yang's current strength and realm, the power that he could display was extremely limited. Of course, Yu Yang didn't have anyone to guide him previously. He had to rely on himself to explore. To be able to improve like this was already considered very fast. Now, when Yu Yang saw how Ji Zun condensed and used the runes, Yu Yang immediately learned from her. Maybe Ji Zun purposely gave Yu Yang pointers before the battle. Because to kill an African chicken angel, there was no need to use the sunlight wheel. Wah! When the angel escaped to 100 meters in front of Song Yen, the sunlight wheel caught up to it and cut it into 2. Song Yen moved his feet a little. He didn't take the sunlight wheel head-on. Instead, he pretended to dodge the sunlight wheel and let it pass by him. The Lich, who had half of his body destroyed, escaped in another direction. Ji Zun didn't even look at him. She slowly raised her left hand and 10 rays of light appeared in her palm. It cut through space and formed 10 arcs of dimension slash. Dimension slash cut through the sky. In an instant, the Lich's body was cut into dozens of pieces. Wait, Master Ji Zun, please go and rest. Let your disciple clean up the rest. Seeing that Ji Zun was about to attack, Yu Yang quickly jumped out to stop her. Since she had finished fighting, he couldn't just be in charge of applauding and cheering. No matter what, he was the leader of the Western Heaven Realm team. He had to take some credit. Moreover, the enemy was injured even if they weren't dead. It was a good time to pick up the scraps. Then I'll let you practice. Ji Zun spoke very lightly. Her tone was like a rich man taking out $1 million check to give to starving people to buy some buns to fill their stomach. This was only Yu Yang. If it was someone else, she probably wouldn't be able to change her mind. Be careful. On the other hand, Night Empress was worried for Yu Yang. Putting aside the fact that the ancient Slaughterer Beast King was still alive and well, the other party still had Song Yen eyeing them covetously. The enemy was afraid of Ji Zun, but it didn't mean that Yu Yang could pick up the scraps easily. Even a rabbit would bite when it was cornered. Huang Quan, Fen Tian and Yun Xing, who were gradually recovering their vision, were also worried for Yu Yang. At the same time, they felt ashamed. The three of them followed Yu Yang out of the formation and fought together. The remaining Wing Jin and the rest had already withered under the strong light. They didn't have much fighting power left. However, they would only add to the chaos if they went out. Therefore, they tactfully stayed in the starry sky domain. The remaining Tiger Man was still vomiting. Although he vomited badly, his fighting power was gradually recovering. After all, he was a heaven-ranked level 3. He wouldn't die so easily. A heaven-ranked level 3 ranker that Ji Zun could kill instantly was actually not that easy to bully. Huang Quan, Fun Tian, and Yun Xing, the three of them attacked one after another. The heavily injured Tiger Man resisted all of their attacks without suffering any injuries. He roared and countless blood-colored lights appeared on his body. As he pushed Huang Quan and the rest back, his body was gradually changing shape. A horn slowly grew on his head. His ferocious face became even more terrifying. His fangs extended out of his lips like that of a saber-toothed tiger. His tail was full of barbs and it was on fire. On his back, a stegosaur-like fin grew. After rolling on the ground, the Tiger Man turned into an extremely ugly monster with a single horn and a spiky tail. He no longer looked like a human. The strength of the Tiger Man who turned into a monster increased greatly. He reached the peak of heaven-ranked level 3. His strength, speed and defense were all raised to the limit. Huang Quan, who was also a heaven-ranked level 3, was sent flying a few hundred meters away and vomited blood on the spot. Needless to say, Fun Tian and Yun Xing were unable to catch up with his movements. "Move aside, wait for me." Yu Yang followed Ji Zun's condensing technique and condensed his own world exterminating wheel. Although it could not be compared to the sunlight wheel, it was obviously much stronger than before. The power that it displayed made Song Yen, who was watching from afar, slightly move. The power of the world exterminating wheel and Yu Yang's super powerful comprehension made him feel threatened. If not for Ji Zun, Song Yen would definitely kill Yu Yang. Due to the excessive condensing, the world exterminating wheel in Yu Yang's hand suddenly lost control. It flew out of his hand. Fun Tian and Yun Xing were shocked and quickly dodged. Although he had turned into a monster, the Tiger Man still had his intelligence. He also jumped far away to escape and then jumped back to attack Yu Yang. His speed was extremely fast, faster than lightning by 100 times. "Do you think that this young master only has this much ability?" Yu Yang laughed coldly. The Gui Tsang sword appeared in his hand. Compared to the world exterminating wheel, this Gui Tsang sword was also a killer move. Once the Gui Tsang sword appeared, it suppressed everything. The body of the Tiger Man who had turned into a monster became sluggish. The shadow of death flashed across the Tiger Man who had turned into a monster. He suddenly had an unimaginable suspicion. Could it be that he, who was a heaven-ranked level 3, would die in the hands of this brat? Chapter 539. The aura on Song Yan's body changed slightly, and a wave appeared in the gray domain. The Tiger Man that was stopped in midair by the Gui Tsang sword's pressure was lifted into the sky like a wave. Huang Quan, Fun Tian, and Yun Xing secretly cursed him for being shameless. A heaven-ranked level 3 Tiger Man fighting against Yu Yang, a human who was not even a heaven-ranked level 5 Song Yen. He actually needed help from heaven-ranked level 5 Song Yen. What a shame! Yu Yang's eyes flashed with a hint of mockery, and the Gui Tsang sword in his hand disappeared. With a wave of his hand, the Heaven's Fury Fire Lotus transformed into a whip of agony, whipping the Tigerman's neck. Although it did not cause much damage, the Tigerman's escape force was delayed again. Huang Quan did not understand. Why did Yu Yang want to fight the Tiger Man in close combat? In terms of realm, strength, and body, Yu Yang was far from the Tigerman's level. Why did he want to fight the Tiger Man in close combat? Howl! The Tiger Man who had turned into a monster roared towards the sky, and the sound waves exploded outwards. instantly shattering the whip of agony that Yu Yang used on his body. Yu Yang, who had the protection of the Nirvana flame armor and innate chi, was also in a state of dizziness, and his body swayed. Even so, the Tiger Man who had turned into a monster did not dare to attack Yu Yang. Instead, he opened his huge mouth and spat out thick black smoke. Amidst the thick smoke, a tiger-shaped monster could be vaguely seen. It bared its fangs and brandished its claws as it pounced towards Yu Yang. Light spear. Huang Quan's eyes widened, and his pupil power transformed into nearly 100 golden light spears. At the speed of light, they pierced through the body of the tiger-shaped monster. Light and darkness were two elements that countered each other. Huang Quan was confident that his light spears could instantly kill the ghost tiger that appeared in the smoke. However, something strange happened. Those golden light spears did not seem to have touched anything, and directly passed through the body of the ghost tiger, without any lethality to speak of. As for the ghost tiger, it continued to pounce towards Yu Yang. Its sharp claws could even cut through the air, making a terrifying hissing sound. Not only Huang Quan, even Fun Tian and Yun Xing were shocked. It was clearly a ghost tiger, so why were the light spears ineffective? There was no time to think. Just as the ghost tiger was about to use its claws to kill the stunned Yu Yang, a ball of raging flames suddenly rose from Yu Yang's body. This was not Nirvana's flame, but a beast that had the characteristics of scorching flames, thick smoke, storm, lightning, specter, spirit, etc. She was one of Yu Yang's guardian beasts, the spirit of earth fire. The light spear was unable to touch the ghost tiger. The moment the spirit of earth fire appeared, she flung the ghost tiger away. She was the same type of beast as it. Although Ghost Tiger was much stronger than the spirit of earth fire, the spirit of earth fire was not afraid nor was she injured. She did not have high intelligence and relied more on her instincts to fight. The ghost tiger easily tore her body into thousands of pieces, but the spirit of earth fire's body recovered in the blink of an eye. As long as the trace of Nirvana's flame was not extinguished, she would never disappear. As long as her master, Yu Yang, was not dead, she would never truly die. What the ghost tiger destroyed was only her elemental form. This kind of damage was the same as the light spear shooting at the ghost tiger. It was completely useless. There was only one possibility for the ghost tiger to cause damage to the spirit of earth fire, and that was to devour this enemy that would never disappear and would never die. The spirit of earth fire was doing that. She completely ignored the fact that the ghost tiger was 100 times stronger than her. She used the trace of Nirvana's flame to engulf the other party's energy bit by bit. Even if the ghost tiger did not resist, she would still need 3 days and 3 nights to completely engulf it. The ghost tiger was extremely furious. It flew around randomly, its sharp claws tearing the air, and the flames in its mouth burning the entire sky. However, all of its attributes were useless against the spirit of earth fire. Struggling was futile. If it was any other beast, the ghost tiger would have engulfed it long ago. The problem was that the spirit of earth fire's flame was Nirvana's flame. No one could engulf such a fatal thing. Under the situation where it was unable to engulf the other party, the ghost tiger gloomily ran around, hoping that the spirit of earth fire would leave the battle and return to its master. However, the spirit of earth fire did not care about anything else when she saw a delicious meal. She only wanted to let go of her appetite and have a good meal. As for protecting its master, the spirit of earth fire did not need to think about this problem. This was because Yu Yang had too many guardian beasts. Other than the ghost tiger, the tiger man who had turned into a monster had also summoned a very strong devil-toothed beast. This was a unique monster in the heaven realm. When it was born, it was already gold-ranked level 10. In the future, it would never be able to level up or change its rank. It could only continue to grow in size, and its strength would continue to accumulate. Their unique characteristic was that they could forcefully swallow and digest anything. The intelligence of the Tiger Man who had turned into a monster did not decrease. He summoned a devil-toothed beast that was the size of a small hill to test Yu Yang. A beast like the devil-toothed beast that was like a mindless meatball that could open its mouth at any time and heal its body at any time was almost invincible against human attacks. If the Tiger Man was not afraid of Jizun, he would not have tested Yu Yang carefully. He would have rushed up and killed Yu Yang in an instant. Now, the Tiger Man hoped to force Yu Yang to retreat and return to Song Yan's side. As long as he did not fight against that human Jizun, he really did not care about anything else. That's all you've got? A cold glint flashed across Yu Yang's eyes. If it wasn't for Song Yan using his domain of power to save the Tiger Man, he might have died under the Guizhong sword. He actually had the guts to summon beasts? The golden-crowned thorny flower queen yawned as she flew out. She was still in hibernation when she rushed out to deal with the devil-toothed beast. There was no one more suitable than her to deal with the devil-toothed beast. He condensed his right hand and countless runes appeared. World exterminating wheel? The Tiger Man and Song Yan were a little vigilant. Luckily, although this brat's world exterminating wheel was not bad, it only had one way of attacking. The aura on Song Yan's body rose slightly. The Tiger Man who had turned into a monster felt a surge of energy flowing into his body. His fighting power increased by several folds. He was immediately overjoyed and his heart was instantly lifted. Although he did not dare to fight in close combat, in order to avoid the world exterminating wheel's slash, the Tiger Man waved his sharp claws and tail, bringing along dozens of air wave blades that could split gold and stone. They shot straight towards Yu Yang to disrupt his condensing process. Yu Yang's actions of not dodging or dodging made Song Yan secretly suspect. Could it be that the Guizhong sword's attack just now was a feint? The real purpose was to test? Song Yan, who had rich battle experience, suddenly had this thought. Just now, Yu Yang had used his aura to test the enemy's endurance limit and the strength of his domain of power. The real attack would be coming next. Come back! Song Yan opened his mouth to call the Tiger Man, but it was already too late. A giant rune wheel that was very similar to the world exterminating wheel, yet different, was condensed in Yu Yang's hands. Once this giant rune wheel appeared, the entire space was like the Night Empress Starry Sky domain, completely under Yu Yang's control. Song Yan's domain of power was completely stripped away. Within 10 meters of this giant rune wheel, nothing could affect its operation. What was different from the Starry Sky domain was that other than Yu Yang's willpower, this giant rune wheel itself had its own unique power and willpower. It could not be countered by any external object or force. Its existence was as if it had existed since the moment the universe was born. It had existed since eternity. Song Yan was moved when he saw the world exterminating wheel. When he saw this giant rune wheel, he cried out involuntarily, "Eternal wheel! This is bad!" With Yu Yang as the center, countless runes floated quietly in the air. Ever since they formed the eternal wheel, they had maintained their original state, as if they had existed since ancient times until now, or even until eternity. This was the power of the eternal wheel. No external force in the world could affect it. It was the exact opposite of the world exterminating wheel. One destroyed everything, the other maintained eternity. Yu Yang had inherited the world exterminating wheel and the eternal wheel long ago. It was just that he was more familiar with the world exterminating wheel and felt that the world exterminating wheel was more powerful. Hence, he rarely practiced using the eternal wheel until the Scarlet Emperor escaped from the seal. The Scarlet Emperor's extreme speed and the protection of the divine equipment made Yu Yang unable to kill him no matter how hard he tried. Later on, Yu Yang thought of the eternal wheel. He then understood that the two wheels were used together. No matter which one was used alone, it would not be able to unleash its full power. The Tiger Man who had turned into a monster realized that he was at the edge of the eternal wheel and could not move at all. He could only watch as Yu Yang flew towards him with the black Guizhong sword. He was scared out of his wits. Don't talk about escaping. He could not even ask for help. The Tsang Yen cloak released a wave of black gas, but he did not help the Tiger Man. As for the one-eyed ancient slaughterer Beast King, it did not have any intention to fight against Yu Yang, who was protected by the Nirvana flame. It was instinctively afraid of him. Compared to the eternal wheel and the world-exterminating wheel, it was more afraid of the Nirvana flame. That was the bane of its existence. Be careful, I heard that the Tsang Yen has the ability to make people's corpses explode. Huang Quan suddenly thought of something and quickly reminded Yu Yang. Even if it explodes, we still have to kill it. The Guizhong sword in Yu Yang's hand was not much bigger than a chopstick, but it was extremely powerful. This black Guizhong sword was the first to break the record. It pierced through the Tigerman's forehead. Not only did it pierce through the brain, it even cut off the Tigerman's hardest horn. Interesting. Ji Zun was not surprised by Yu Yang's world-exterminating wheel and eternal wheel, but she was interested in the Guizhong sword. The Guizhong sword also pierced through the brain. Although it was not as powerful as Heizi, she could see the potential of this godly sword. With Yu Yang's current realm, he could already use the Guizhong sword to unleash a power that was close to Heizi's. If he were to level up to Ji Zun's realm, how powerful would the Guizhong sword be? The answer was obvious without even thinking. When Yu Yang pierced through the Tigerman's brain, a terrifying shockwave that was 100 times stronger than a volcanic eruption erupted from the bottom of the Tigerman's feet. Almost at the same time, Ji Zun saw through the Tsang Yan's domain. She snorted. So it's just a trick, a trap domain that requires an external object to trigger. Not to mention Ji Zun, even Night Empress' voice was filled with joy. Luckily, it requires an external object to trigger. I was shocked just now, but it turns out that it's only this much. Ghost Tiger, who was connected to the Tigerman's will, howled in pain. At the same time, a glacier like frost exploded from its body, instantly freezing Ghost Tiger and the Spirit of Earth Fire together. The only thing that could not be frozen was the Spirit of Earth Fire's Nirvana flame. The moment the Tiger Man was hit by the sword, the devil-toothed beast's body exploded. What it triggered in Tsang Yan's trap domain was a sky full of thunder and lightning. Thousands of golden lightning snakes wandered in the sky. Not to mention Golden Crown Thorny Flower Queen, who was within the explosion range. Even Huang Quan, Fun Tian and Yun Xing, who were far away, were paralyzed by the lightning. Chain explosion. Tsang Yen slowly raised his right hand and pointed at the dozens of ancient slaughterer corpses on the ground. Huh! Wang Jin and the rest were dumbfounded. If these dozens of ancient slaughterer corpses exploded, would everyone still be able to survive? Tsang Yan's trap territory was stacked. The power of the 3 explosions and the power of the 3rd lightning was already 10 times stronger than the first volcanic eruption. If dozens of ancient slaughterers were to explode together, other than the strongest supreme martial artist, who would be able to withstand it? Even Yu Yang, who had the protection of the Eternal Wheel, and Night Empress, who had the Starry Sky domain, would not be able to withstand the explosion that was stacked thousands of times. Heaven-ranked level 5 Tsang Yen was indeed terrifying. It would have been fine if he did not make a move, but once he made a move, he would instantly kill everyone. Ji Zun was indifferent, as if she did not see Tsang Yen about to unleash the chain explosion. As for Night Empress, who was hidden, she opened her mouth as clear as a spring. Birth of the Aries of the 12 Zodiac Palaces, Starry Sky Gravity. Chapter 540. Stars were born one after another, resembling the ecliptic constellation Aries. The starry sky domain expanded outwards. The indescribably vast star power instantly produced an infinite gravitational force. Within Tsang Yan's trap domain, The ancient slaughterers that were about to explode were all freed from the control of the trap domain. Under the effect of the starry sky domain, they floated up quietly. They were even lighter than Yu Yang, who was on the eternal wheel. Their huge bodies seemed to be as light as feathers. Yu Yang, who had the heaven eye's divine vision, could see the secret of the mysterious star power. This starry sky domain was not a large-scale dispersal of Tsang Yan's trap domain. It was isolation. All the ancient slaughterers' corpses were wrapped up by a faint star power. Although the trap domain was powerful when triggered, it became useless after being isolated by the star power. Night Empress easily broke Tsang Yan's trap domain. If there were no external objects to trigger it, Tsang Yan's trap domain would not be able to explode no matter how powerful it was. Triggering was the biggest weakness of the trap domain. So much food! The golden crown thorny flower queen, that was destroyed by the explosion of the devil-toothed beast's corpse and the trap domain, appeared again. The shadow that was destroyed was not her real body. A huge thorny flower grew from the ground and bloomed into an indescribably beautiful flower bed. On that flower bed, the real golden crown thorny flower queen was still yawning. She waved her hand and countless thorny flowers in the starry sky domain attacked Tsang Yan's trap domain with the help of Night Empress star power. They swept towards the floating ancient slaughterers' corpses. Before they could devour them all, the thousands of thorny flowers gathered together and dragged the ancient slaughterers' corpses away. The ancient slaughterer beast king roared furiously. However, it was afraid of Yu Yang, who possessed Nirvana flame, so the Beast King did not dare to stop it. It spat out flames from afar, burning the thorny flowers. Countless thorny flowers melted in the flames it spat out and turned into ashes. However, more thorny flowers grew out and formed a sea of flowers. It forcefully dragged all the ancient slaughterers' corpses away under the Beast King's spit. Tsang Yan's eyes were as cold as ice. He looked on coldly, but did not stop it. The four ancient slaughterer commanders, who had not fully recovered their vision, were stubbornly resisting in the sea of flowers. Even though they were injured by Ji Zun's destructive light, it wasn't fatal, and they still had powerful battle prowess. With the golden crown thorny flower queen's sea of flowers, it was impossible for her to keep the four of them here. With the help of the trap domain, the four ancient slaughterer commanders broke free from the thorny flower's entanglement with brute force and returned to Tsang Yan's side. The golden crown thorny flower queen had no way of stopping them, who were Heaven Realm level 3, even if they were heavily injured. Yu Yang didn't do anything to them. However, there were still a few ancient slaughterer team leaders who were on the verge of death. Yu Yang wouldn't stand on ceremony. They were also struggling in the sea of flowers. Yu Yang wanted to train the team, so Bloody Queen Red, Barbarian Cow Shadow, Hornless Dragon Jiang Ying and Little One Li came out one after another. Tsang Yan didn't care what kind of beasts Yu Yang summoned. He also ignored Shui Wuxia, who was holding an ancient book. He only looked at Princess Sisai, who was carrying the prison Emperor Excalibur. He looked at the prison Emperor Excalibur, not Princess Sisai. Other than Ji Zun and Night Empress, Tsang Yan wouldn't care about anyone else. Even Huang Quan, Fun Tian and Yun Xing, who were heaven-ranked level 3 and peak level 2 rankers, were like ants to Tsang Yan. He didn't care about them at all. You guys who don't have enough points, you don't need to do anything. You will all be killed mercilessly by the ancient code. Tsang Yan sneered and looked at Ji Zun. He knew that only Ji Zun's points could escape the punishment of the ancient code. The rest of the people had no chance of survival. Because of this, Tsang Yan decided not to make a move. Firstly, he wasn't sure that he could win against the mysterious human Ji Zun in the starry sky domain. Secondly, his main purpose of descending was to make the four lower realms lose their elites who were going to enter the heaven realm. Huang Quan and the others didn't look good. Previously, under the threat of death, they didn't have the time to think about points. Now that Tsang Yan said it, they felt their scalps go numb. Ji Zun instantly killed more than half of the ancient slaughterers. Although she saved everyone's lives, they didn't have enough point. In the end, they couldn't escape the ancient code's punishment. What should they do? Even Huang Quan, who was usually the calmest, couldn't help but breathe heavily. His heart was in turmoil. You clan's third young master, do you have any good ideas? Huang Quan suppressed his fear. He instinctively felt that there was a chance of survival, and that was to believe in Yu Yang. This Yu clan's third young master would definitely not wait for death. He was definitely not that kind of person. If he didn't want to die, he would definitely think of a way to escape the ancient code's punishment. This time, no matter what, they had to believe in him. Ideas? I do have one, but it might not be useful. Yu Yang definitely wouldn't sit and wait for death. He saw Huang Quan and the others' pleading eyes and felt great. He pretended to be humble. We believe in you. Fan Tian felt that if he still didn't believe in Yu Yang, he would be an idiot. You guys will never be able to escape the ancient code's punishment, because I will return to the heaven realm. In the future, there won't be any pursuers coming here. You guys will never be able to gather enough points. Slowly kill each other in despair. Song Yin waved his hand. The ancient slaughterer beast king and the 4 ancient slaughterer commanders gathered beside him. Suddenly, a shining platinum staff appeared in Song Yan's hand. Staff of Return. This was a treasure that only the heaven realm had, the platinum-ranked Staff of Return. Although there were 10 of them, they were unique to the heaven realm. In other words, they were exclusive to the heaven realm's central palace. No other forces had them. An extremely dazzling white light shot up to the sky. Countless electric currents sizzled in the trap domain. When the white light reached its highest point, it exploded like firework. 6 arcs of white light descended and landed on Song Yin, the ancient slaughterer beast king, and the 4 ancient slaughterer commanders. Huang Quan, Fan Tian and Yun Xing couldn't stop it at all. The powerful shock wave formed by Song Yan's trap domain blew them thousands of meters away. Song Yan brought the ancient slaughterer beast king and the rest and teleported away, disappearing from the central plaza. Back to the heaven realm. The entire process was very strange, because no one was punished by the ancient code. From this, it could be seen that the death arena was indeed controlled by someone. They must have made use of some loopholes in the ancient code. This ancient battlefield had already become the slaughterhouse of those people. If not for Ji Zun's powerful appearance, Song Yan probably wouldn't have to abandon the Black Hell King and escape back to the heaven realm. But even with the help of Ji Zun and Night Empress, it was of no use. The enemy had set up a trap long ago. They were just waiting for the warriors to fall for it. We're really done for this time. Fan Tian sat on the ground dejectedly. If they couldn't stop Song Yin from escaping back to the heaven realm, no one would chase after them. No matter what the final result was, they would definitely die. What else can we do now? We should have joined forces just now to stop Song Yin from escaping. Wang Jin from the Bone Clan sighed secretly. Ji Zun and Night Empress didn't want to stop Song Yin just now. If the 2 of them joined forces to attack, how could Song Yin escape? It wouldn't be that easy. He didn't understand why Ji Zun and Night Empress didn't stop Song Yin. Letting the tiger return to the mountain wouldn't benefit them either. Why did they let Song Yin escape? Let's think of another way. There's no point in complaining. Metal Man Yun Xing waved his hands. He thought that Ji Zun and Night Empress had already used up all their strength. It was impossible for them to defeat Song Yin. If it wasn't for their impressive performance that scared Song Yin away, everyone would have died under Song Yan's trap domain. Third young master, what do you think? Huang Quan looked at Yu Yang with a glimmer of hope. If Song Yin wants to escape, we can't stop him. Moreover, I didn't think of stopping him. Yu Yang suddenly took out a golden compass that was 100 times more brilliant than the Staff of Return. This was the three-realm compass that Queen Vivian Li lent to Yu Yang. Special divine equipment. The Staff of Return that could teleport directly from the death arena to the heaven realm was considered a good treasure. However, compared to a divine equipment like the three-realm compass, it was like a child's toy. With the heaven realm compass, as long as one set a target at a certain location or item, not only would it represent the lower realm and heaven realm of Tong Tian Tower, it could even teleport to the legendary God realm. Any obstacles in the world, other than the ancient laws, the divine grimoire space and the unbreakable eternal seal, which was called the Nirvana Sealing God Black Hole Seal, no other space would be able to stop the three-realm compass from teleporting. The three-realm compass was also the only divine equipment that didn't require the owner to have a strong ability to use. It was the best of the special divine equipment. Although this was the Empress divine equipment, because she had a blood-soul contract with Yu Yang could temporarily borrow this divine equipment. At that time, Yu Yang went to seek help from Queen Vivian Li. After she understood the truth of the matter, she immediately took out the three-realm compass and said something that shocked Yu Yang. If you want to break the ancient arena that is being manipulated, the best way is to kill your way to the heaven realm. Letting Song Yen escape was something that Yu Yang had discussed with Ji Zun and Night Empress long ago. Otherwise, Ji Zun wouldn't have held back. Of course, if Ji Zun and Night Empress didn't come, even if Yu Yang had the three-realm compass, he could only watch helplessly. Song Yen wasn't someone he could deal with, and enemies from the heaven realm couldn't be provoked. After Ji Zun and Night Empress heard Yu Yang's plan, they agreed without hesitation. Killing his way to the heaven realm was a powerful move. Even if it failed, it would still shock the entire Tong Tian Tower. Furthermore, Yu Yang had Queen Vivian Li's instructions. Even if he couldn't kill his way to the heaven realm, Yu Yang still had a way to return safely. Huang Quan, Fen Tian, Yunxing, you guys can stay. I won't force you, but our plan is to kill our way to the heaven realm. Song Yen can't escape. I have already left a mark on the ancient slaughterer beast king, so we can teleport to its side immediately. You guys can decide for yourselves whether you want to follow me to kill Song Yen or stay. Yu Yang invited Huang Quan and the others while he injected innate qi into the three-realm compass. Different from the Staff of Return, a smiling little spirit flew out from the light of the three-realm compass. It was the spirit of the divine equipment. Her figure was about the size of a palm-sized fairy. The spirit of the divine artifact. She had rainbow-like wings and an extremely beautiful fishtail. She looked like a miniature little one-ly. There was a slight difference. Very cute. The spirit of the divine equipment waved her hand slightly. With Yu Yang as the center, all living things within a 10-meter radius were imprinted with golden ancient runes. After Huang Quan, Fen Tian and the others looked at each other, they hurriedly flew over. Of course, they wanted to participate in this crazy plan, to kill their way to the heaven realm. Although they would have to face an unknown number of enemies in the heaven realm later on, it was still better than staying in the death arena. They would definitely die if they stayed here. Not to mention Huang Quan and the others, even Elder Nangong and the Emperor of the Underworld, who were watching from afar, rushed over. They were determined to participate in this counterattack against the heaven realm that they might not be able to return from. To be able to kill their way to the heaven realm was the long-cherished wish of all the warriors. Even if they died in battle, they would be happy. Before Yu Yang teleported to the heaven realm, he shouted at Void, "Black Hell King, you cowardly bastard, are you going to stay here and wait for your death? The punishment of the ancient code cannot kill me. Third young master, you will never know what a true traitor is." After Yu Yang and the others disappeared, the Black Hell King quietly appeared and floated in the air. He slowly raised his hand and removed the holy armor that covered his entire body. He then kept the dark sacred sword and everything else on his body back into the grimoire world. He muttered to himself, "A true traitor can even betray himself." The final betrayal is not only the loyalty of a servant, the tears of a lover, the protection of a beast and the alliance between teammates, but also my own life. I, the Black Hell King, do not need them anymore. The punishment of the ancient code instantly turned into destructive lightning and struck down, instantly turning the Black Hell King into ashes. However, a white light flashed in the void. It shot up into the sky. The shadow of the Black Hell King was faintly discernible in the white light. He teleported and disappeared. You're tuning in to the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.